Teeth Podcast, live from Stage 5 in beautiful Austin, Texas.
Hi, Gus.
This week, Gus Sorola.
Brandon Farmahini.
Chris Demarais.
And Burnie Burns.
And Gus Sorola.
Can I get over here?
Bernie's literally just walking on stage. I think with about 10 seconds till we went live, you were still walking around back there, doing who knows what.
When I found out we had 10 seconds left, then I was like, I can still get something done. So I walked away and got
darted off the stage for a bit.
Today was a very, very crazy day.
Yeah? Want to talk about it?
Mm-hmm. So today was the first day. Today is Monday, October 13th. And
Checks out.
What's that?
It checks out.
Yeah. And today was the first day of, I guess, hardcore
pornography?
We're in that zone between pre-production and production of Laser Team. So tomorrow's like the actual first shoot day.
E-production.
What?
E-production.
What does e-production mean?
It's between pre and production.
Oh, it's just e-production?
E-production.
Reproduction?
Reproduction.
There you go.
Hardcore pornography.
Today was reproduction day. It all comes back full circle. Anyway, so there was a lot of running around today. Had some people that were here in town that we were meeting for the first time. A lot of us were meeting for the first time. So it was just a fun day of running around and seeing lots of cool stuff.
Nice. Like
laser gauntlets.
So enjoy your final look at Burnie for the for the foreseeable future.
I will be around. They cut my hair today, and
you make it sound like they strapped you down and like took the shears to you like you're a sheep in a field.
I met a lot of people. I believe the person who cut my hair today was Beth. And there's something about hairdressers. They really, and Michael could probably back this up if he was here, but they really like curly hair a lot. Like they don't get to deal with it very often. And as a result, they just want to like make it as big as possible. And so like they cut my hair and then poofed it way the hell up. And then I was like, no, okay. So
my wife's been bugging me to get a haircut because my hair's really long right now. And I wanted to get a haircut, but we started filming this other thing that's been going on for a little over a week now.
Josh's project?
Right. And I can't cut my hair because now if I cut my hair halfway through the project, all of a sudden my hair gets short.
Oh, and we'll have pickups for the next 3 months.
Right. So every day my wife's like, why don't you get a haircut today? Like, I can't. I've got to wait. It's like, when are you going to be done filming? I don't know.
You just got to give up on that. Because there's been so many times where I've said, I'm going to cut my hair. And everyone's like, okay. So you sure I'm going to cut my hair? Yes. And they cut my hair and they come in the next day like, you cut your hair. Today we have to reshoot something we shot 4 weeks ago.
I did that to Brandon at Immersion. I showed up and I was like, I had a beard when we filmed this, right? And you're like, oh, shit.
I remember we put a complete fake beard on you for the reunion short.
We're just like, let's get some mascara and just kind of.
You look like Daniel Day-Lewis playing you. That's what you looked like.
Yeah, so if you like really look closely at some of those shots, you can see my beard is just mascara over like a tiny bit of stubble that I happen to have.
I couldn't believe every comment wasn't like, what's wrong with Gus? Does he have some kind of disease?
What's wrong with Gus? Our audience is used to that.
The first pass, we used like brown mascara. So it was like brown.
It was like I had shit over my mouth. You can just say it, Chris. It looked like there was shit all around my mouth. It was terrible. The black looked much better. It's much more flattering.
So speaking of which, I was on the podcast last week.
Okay.
And that last week was after we discovered.
Oh, right. Last week. I remember it now.
That there was an Ebola case that showed up in Dallas.
2 now.
Yeah. Well, this nurse who got Ebola from this guy, Duncan, who came from, I believe, Liberia.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And he came to Dallas, went to the hospital 2 days after he started having symptoms. They turned him away, saying, you're fine. And then he goes home with 2 days with symptoms. And symptoms are when you can pass the virus, when you're exhibiting symptoms. And 2 days later, he then comes back to the hospital and says, I really do think something's wrong with me. And there's been a lot of speculation whether the guy was lying and all this stuff, but it's just basically they turn him away, then he comes back 2 days later, and they go, oh, yeah, you have Ebola. They admit him. And now this young lady, this nurse, who's I think has now been identified by her family.
Correct.
And she is literally she is now like the poster child. She is the first case of Ebola in the U.S. She's the first transmission of Ebola in the U.S. Yeah. So she's not patient 0, but she's like patient 1.
I think CNN has this adorable picture of her and her dog. And like the dog is looking her in the face. Like you can't pick a more sympathetic photo.
Can dogs carry Ebola is now the question.
Could the dog be the next carrier?
The answer to your question is yes. And it's something that not many people know about Ebola, which is like when we started off on a really emergency tangent immediately.
Gus, I lost my phone. It's around here. I have no idea.
Call you?
Nobody call.
But yes, dogs can get Ebola and they carry it asymptomatically. So they're just carriers of Ebola. And in fact, there was a nurse in Spain, in Madrid, who contracted Ebola. They killed her dog. Like the Spanish authorities killed her dog, euthanized the dog, which they killed it.
That would be like the creepiest and most mean way of doing chemical warfare. Is you just go to pounds, you contract Ebola and just give it to all the dogs.
And then
Are you like passing it out to the dogs there, Chris? Like, here's some Ebola for you. You get some Ebola.
Yeah, but it's and it's like one of those things. It's not the U.S. went through a very short period of time, which was a little bit of hubris, where it was like, oh, everybody stop, don't worry about it. You know, it's out of control in Africa because everyone's just passing it to each other. They don't know how to do it, and they don't. But then, like, here's a nurse who's covered head to toe in protective gear, and she contracts it.
Well, the CDC kind of threw her or the hospital under the bus.
On total speculation.
Yeah, they said, well, proper protocol was breached, and that's what caused this spread.
Well, they don't want people to panic.
They won't elaborate on what that means. Like, what do you mean protocol was breached?
If they just say, yeah, we don't know. Well, we don't know. Everybody did everything right, but it's still spreading. People would absolutely panic. Am I weird for not wanting to shake hands anymore? Like, officially?
To be fair, Brendan, you don't ever like shaking hands with anyone.
I know, but officially saying no under any circumstance.
I've been with him one time. We were out, and someone goes to shake his hand, and you're like, I just washed my hands. You actually said that to a guy.
Well, you saying that because your hands were wet?
No, he said it because they were clean.
And this guy's disgusting?
I had some worse. At one point, we were hanging out, and you shook somebody's hand, and then while they were there, you immediately took out one of those antibacterial things and put it in and washed. That's worse. But no, I'm not touching anybody anymore.
I don't know how you are, Gus, but at cons,
You know how I am.
we just came back from New York Comic Con. I didn't go. You didn't go. Nobody here went.
No.
They have a lot of those people are actually still making their way back. They had like I heard a 7-hour line at Comic Con.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, and it's just like, you know, we see a lot of people when we go to these conventions. You shake a lot of hands. So on a regular basis, just because it's a lot of people from all over the country or all over the world, you're going to get exposed to things. So I'm always really careful. I don't get sick at cons anymore. But for the first year or two, I would get sick on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. Like when I go to PAX and everyone gets PAX, pox, or whatever they call it, never get it.
Yeah, I don't
Ever.
get it. 2 rules. Sanitize your hands frequently and don't touch your face.
Don't touch your face is a big one.
Yeah,
don't
that's
touch your
it.
face.
You don't get it. You're fine.
But
Make
that
sure you don't
active
have anything hurt here. And then don't touch sweaty dudes.
I got a cut on my finger that's bugging the shit out of me. Now you say that. I'm gonna come back to that story in a second.
Have you shaken any hands of sweaty men?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I don't think I have.
Stay away.
Anyway, so I always sanitize my hands at the booth on a regular basis, but like not based on anything. Just like, 15 minutes have gone by.
Yeah.
I should probably sanitize my hands.
I can sympathize.
But it's always a thing of like, I don't want anybody to see me do it. It's a totally responsible, professional thing to do to sanitize your hands. Yet I feel like I have to hide the fact that I'm sanitizing my hands.
I always try to justify it, like to the next person in line. Listen, I shake a lot of hands. I'm doing this for your protection. You're going to get the cleanest handshake possible as soon as I'm done doing this.
Yeah. The guy who just walked away is like, ugh.
Yeah, that guy's fucked. That guy's not going anywhere. That guy's getting Pax Ebola.
We shouldn't make jokes about it at this point. God, my phone's
you talked about a
crazy.
cut on your hand. The other day, I was replacing one of the screens in my place. So I took the screen out. Then I put the new one on, and it had like little latches, like little catches you got to push up and then get the screen on there. Yeah. Then it was in there, and I went like this to like just kind of brush it down. I was like, why is there blood all over that?
Oh no!
I looked at my thumb. Blood was just gushing down, and I had like punctured under the nail, like that bit of skin. I was like, oh. That really hurts now.
Man, when that happens, that is like your whole week. Like, I got one time I did a weird thing where I bruised the bottom of my foot. Have you ever done that? No. One of my kids left out a die-cast metal airplane, and I stepped on the back of it, like the tail fin went straight up into the arch of my foot and bruised my foot. Bruising the bottom of your foot, A, is hard, and B, it's hard to get over. Because like for a week, if like I just stepped on it in a weird, any way at all, was a weird way. And I was just like in total pain every time I stepped on it.
I stepped on a toothpick. My brother was eating Pop-Tarts with toothpicks. I don't know why. It happens. Yeah, and he was on the floor. And I ran in, I stepped in this toothpick, and it got wedged into my foot. And it was like Pop-Tart goo all over it. I was like...
Did it jam in your foot? Like
yeah,
pierced your foot?
Yeah.
Oh,
and there was like, there was, I think it was apple cinnamon.
What is wrong with your
cinnamon Pop-Tart? I think
like that story just kept getting weirder and weirder. He was eating Pop-Tarts with toothpicks on the floor.
I don't know. Don't ask me. I just stepped on it.
So because I mentioned cons, Gus, there are a lot of people on Twitter who are now saying, are you coming to this con? Are you coming to that con? For instance, someone wants to know if we're coming to Vermont Comic Con October 25th and 26th. I would say, no, we're not going to Vermont Comic Con.
No.
Where are we going in the near future?
In October, we'll be at PAX Australia. I want to say that's like October 30th, 31st, I believe. 31st to November 2nd. Then we'll be at Supernova Adelaide and Supernova Brisbane. And we'll be at MCM London Comic Con in October. Yeah, that's like in 2 weeks. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's where we'll be.
Jack and Ray are going to Australia, right?
Jack and Ray are going to Australia. Jordan and I are going, or Jack and Ray are going to PAX Australia. Jordan and I are going to Supernova. And Miles and Carrie are going to London. I believe that's the breakdown. And that's it for 2015.
Very cool.
Unless, of course,
I didn't know you were going back to Australia. I'm jealous.
I love it. And unless, of course, you go to one of the Ruby Volume 2 screenings, which are happening at, I believe, 6 Alamo Draft Houses around the U.S.
All over the nation.
I think the one in Austin sold out, but I don't know if the other ones elsewhere sold out.
You should go to drafthouse.com.
We're going to show Volume 2 of Ruby and then do some Q&A. And the Q&A will be live streamed to all the different theaters. So even if you're in another theater, you can still ask questions of the people here in Austin.
Yeah, you can. Okay, let me tell you the exact places where Ruby Volume 2 will be screened. The Alamo and Rooster Teeth present. It'll be Ashburn, Austin, Houston,
Ashburn,
Kansas City, Littleton, and Yonkers.
Where's Ashburn?
What about Vermont?
I think it's Ashburn, Virginia.
Is there
Yes.
Is there an Alamo from
Yonkers?
There is no Vermont, sorry.
Damn it.
Yeah, Yonkers, it's New York.
And did you say Kansas City?
It's in the NYC area. That is correct, sir. You are correct.
Kansas or Missouri?
Dude, it's the same thing, isn't it?
No, hey, it's a different state, man.
Aren't they connected to each other, though? I mean,
just
isn't it the same
asking.
city?
You gotta get a passport.
Across a little border? Depending on which...
You're going
which,
from one shitty state to another shitty state?
which side of the sheep that you're on. That's a callback joke. All right, let me see here. Kansas City is going slow. Slow.
They have Google Fiber, don't they? They have no excuse.
It's true, they do. I got fiber in
Where's
my
that
house. I'm
Topeka?
so happy. I get
hate you.
AT&T fiber.
You
at my
understand
house.
why I bragged about it so long now.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's really good.
Yeah, I just got it this morning. I think everybody's just burnt out on waiting for Google.
Yeah.
Google, they released an update that wasn't telling them people where they are in the process, but showing like all the hard work that's going into building the new network.
Bullshit.
And it was showing these guys like lifting
you can just
stuff,
call it
and they were
bullshit.
like
digging a trench and
Yeah.
putting shit in there. It's like, boy, building an all new fiber
Yeah.
network sure is hard work.
It looked
But
like
no information
it
at
looked
all.
like a propaganda video from like World War II. It was ridiculous.
There is speculation that Google it's just smoke and mirrors, that they are announcing cities they're going into and just like waiting to see like how the carriers react to it.
Good.
You know.
I mean, I'm happy.
Carriers have reacted very well in Austin. Everybody has upped their internet. Like, for instance, I get for $70 a month now, I get a gigabit service on fiber from AT&T, which is, I think my last speed test was like 780 megs down, I think, and then 380 up. I uploaded a 4 gig Let's Play for this in 10 minutes.
If you are using the Austin speed test server, you should stop using it.
I didn't. No,
Okay.
I'm smart enough not to do that.
Okay.
I used Grande in San Marcos.
Okay, gotcha.
That's what I always use. Yeah, if you use AT&T servers, it's like, wow, look at this. You got 800 up.
Google did the same thing a few years ago when they discontinued the old way that we transmitted television signals. They basically put that spectrum up for bid with all these different companies, and there was a reserve. And if you hit that mark, then it would become like open source. I forget the exact lingo. And Google had no interest in owning any of that. But they bid that reserve because they knew that someone else actually wanted it and would pay more, and it would be like beneficial for them in the long run.
I remember that. I vaguely remember the story
Yeah.
you're talking about. It was it was the spectrum that got freed up and the FCC was auctioning it off.
Yeah. And it's just like, well played, but asshole.
You only call him an asshole if you're the company that had to pay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And I
It's
think
just
it was a lot of money too. It was like
billions of
several
dollars.
$billion.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, fuck. It's like when you're watching that thing on eBay, you're like, I know that asshole's just bidding to put the price up. It's like that guy has no interest in buying it.
Yeah, but I think AT&T is rolling it out across the country. I've heard rumors Houston's coming up.
Yeah, I think they've also talked about San Antonio as well.
Yeah.
And I think San Antonio's their headquarters.
Yeah.
So it would make
well,
sense
I
for
think
them to do it
they
there.
moved it to Dallas
Oh,
when
did
they changed their name to AT&T.
Ah.
Because it was SBC, and then they changed their name to AT&T and
It's a
moved
slow,
it.
steady process, dude. All becoming AT&T again.
Yeah.
It's done now, right?
It's pretty much done.
Yeah, there's no,
Yeah.
there's nothing else. It's
I
just
think
AT&T.
SBC went and they bought the Pacific Bell. and then they came in and bought Mama Bell. Like it's just all one thing again. And then Time Warner, Comcast. We're gonna have one company for everything in the world. Not just one company
and
for
that
cable.
company will be Rooster Teeth. All your needs in one. Somebody wrote to me and said in Australia they pay $100. I'm assuming $100 Australian for 100 megabits down and 2 megabits up, and only a 200 gigabyte a month monthly quota.
Wow.
One thing I don't understand about quotas is I have no idea how much does gaming use.
I normally I use Time Warner, and you can check how much you use in a month. And in a typical month, I'll use about between 200 and 300 gigs of data.
Here's the thing.
Gaming?
Just like general everything.
Would you rather
I'll use way
have
more than that, I bet.
so say you only have a gig
not a contest.
or something a month, right? Would you rather have a really, really fast speed?
Yes.
So it just goes through really fast and you're like, God damn it. Or would you rather have a slower speed so you naturally pace it out?
No, a fast speed, because then you can meter it yourself instead of being metered by the other
So
end.
if you have a quota, you want to be slow as well?
So just so that, well, you have a quota and then you're like,
It's like if you have for dinner, if you have one fish stick, do you wolf it down or do you like...
yeah,
nibble the
yeah.
fish
It's
stick?
like, do you want someone saying, well, here's your quarter of the fish stick.
Yeah.
Well, here's the next quarter.
You take forever to eat.
Say all you have in the house is a Pop-Tart and a box of toothpicks. if that's all that you have, how do you eat your Pop-Tart? How the fuck do you eat a Pop-Tart?
I don't know.
With a toothpick?
That's what I said. I was really pissed. I was like,
That's what you said? You stepped on the toothpick, you didn't say ow?
No, I said, but afterwards I was like, what? Well, I didn't say this because I was like 7, but I was like, why the fuck are you eating a Pop-Tart on the floor with toothpicks?
At 7, I totally would have said fuck.
No, I wouldn't.
I grew up in New York.
I couldn't
and
say butt.
You couldn't say butt?
I couldn't say, don't be a butthead. I got in trouble for that.
Oh, man.
well, of course you get in trouble, but you can still say it.
Well, yeah.
It's not like
in my head, I was like, I can't say butt.
Chris's
Really?
program.
Yeah, it was like, I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons when I was 7.
Neither did I, but you still
That
find
makes
ways to
sense.
do it.
But yeah,
Oh, you just said it.
I know. I could say that kind of butt, but it's like that's what
That
that's how I would
kind of
get.
butt.
That's how I would get around with it. I'd be like, "Oh, you're such a butt." I also like this. That's how I would get. Like,
It made you the creative person you are today? Look
Did
at
you walk around and be like, oh, I'm so smart?
So what was that? Were your parents... Where were you in the family? You strike
I'm
me...
the middle.
You strike me as a middle kid.
Yeah, I'm a middle kid.
You strike me as a
Yeah.
middle kid. Yeah.
Forgettable.
Yeah, no, I was.
Overlooked.
It's bizarre.
No, I was just older sister and then younger brother. I was mean to my older younger brother.
That's why he's setting up Pop-Tart toothpick booby traps. Like the Pop-Tarts are just a ruse. Like
What kind of Pop-Tart was it? Do you remember?
he said apple.
Cinnamon
cinnamon,
or
that's
apple.
right.
Yeah, one of those. It's a good Pop-Tart. I mean, not that particular. I didn't eat that one, but it's just in general, I like that flavor.
Didn't eat that one after you stepped on it. Or stepped on the raw toothpick.
It's like wine. You're like making wine out of it. Just stepping on Pop-Tarts and getting some juice out of it.
You know, the people who survive Ebola have immunity to it? That's kind of interesting.
Like, so is it like chicken pox in that you can never catch Ebola again?
They actually don't know a lot about it, right? So a lot of it is still conjecture. But they think that there's several different strains of it, but essentially it's like the flu where one strain is dominant whenever they have an outbreak. But yeah, these people that have already been through it have now an immunity to it, which makes you wonder if there's a huge pandemic. The biggest problem that's going to take place is that there's going to be a huge strain on health resources. So is it like advantageous to get a really deadly disease first?
Yeah, like get it premeditated.
But
I know, but it's a 30%
Preemptive.
survival rate. 30%.
Is it that low? I thought it was like 50.
No, it's like I think in Africa it's 70% mortality rate.
Well,
I think.
That's the same thing.
U.S. we're at 100. Yeah.
They're testing a trial
No,
drug.
that's what I'm saying it's not 50-50. It's 70-30.
okay.
That's what I'm saying.
They're testing a trial drug up north, right? With
In
a couple
Canada.
of the people that were taken. So
Didn't Russia today claim that they have a cure for Ebola?
Russia Today claimed it?
Today, Russia.
I thought you were the news site.
Not the news agency. Today, Russia claimed to have a cure for Ebola.
Yeah, the chive. That's what
if you had to go through that, and you,
Theirs has a weird side effect. You grow really huge boobs.
you have to take a billion selfies and send them in.
Do we have an Ebola snail?
Oh, that's what somebody wrote me. That's the assassin snail from Gavin's hypothetical scenario. He now figured out what the power of the snail is.
if you became immune to Ebola, would you go to West Africa and strut and just be like,
You know, we did. What's that? No, you wouldn't strut. But they should immediately put those people to work in healthcare. Like if you recover from Ebola, you should immediately go to work as a healthcare person for Ebola.
They should be taking your blood and making like serums out of it. And
Well,
shit.
that's probably. I probably would imagine that's probably going on somewhere.
Yeah.
You know. But this is it's a tough disease to work with. People get it. You work with it and you get it. I mean, that's the tough thing.
Does anyone want to volunteer to work? No, I'm actually working on this other.
Yeah,
I heard
some
that
guy came in with a Pop-Tart injury. I
heard that
gotta take care of it.
Airline workers somewhere in New York, it might have been at JFK, were protesting unsafe working conditions now because of Ebola.
Yeah, because
Since
they clean out the latrines.
Right, they have to clean the bathrooms on planes that come from there, and they're worried about getting...
Someone's got to clean them.
You're right, Chris. Someone does have to clean. Like they can't institute a no bathroom policy.
Yeah.
Flying from Africa to New York.
Yeah, like what is the alternative? Like disposable bathrooms?
I guess maybe just more protection, like wearing like hazmat suits.
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
Or
I guess I could see that.
Right, something that they don't just get shit splattered on them and like, oops, you're dead.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird things about this the virus. It's really weird. Like one of the things, like it can live a decent amount of time on a surface, like a scary amount of time on a surface. And the other thing too is that it survives for the longest amount of time, like after you've been contagious and you've been sick and you recover, like it lives in your sperm for a much longer period of time.
Really?
So like then after an outbreak, Ebola could then become a sexually transmitted disease after that, which is like crazy. It's just
That is
crazy.
weird.
Could you have an Ebola baby?
I don't think you could have. I don't know.
Like half Ebola?
No, I really don't. Because
The mother's half would be non-Ebola?
literally, I don't want to make. I really don't want to make light of this because I know some people are really concerned about it. I also don't want to like stoke the fires of panic or anything like that.
You're
but
the guy who bought fucking rations.
I listen.
You bought rations?
So don't say you don't want to incite a panic because you said you bought rations and you were so happy when this happened.
No, I wasn't. I was never.
You were like,
happy.
you see, I was right. I was right.
No, I said we jinxed it. Listen, I would never. I don't ever want to live on those. I have rations. I have these. Like, I should have brought some in because we could have eaten some today.
I'd eat it.
You'd eat one?
Do you have a bunker?
Nope. I
If
wish
you did,
Oh, that's the dream, Brandon. Get a
if
good
you
bunker.
did, how would you decide?
I think
who
a bunker
could
would be
come?
fun.
What?
It's like sleepovers and stuff.
Bunker would be horrible. Bunker would be
No,
awful.
no, let's not.
Oh, okay, what?
Who exactly? What's your criterion for letting people?
Criteria.
My
in your
family.
bunker?
Well, the
There's
addition.
got to be a great DVD.
My family.
It's going to make my criterion.
That's the criteria. My family. Like somebody
I'm a court, of
somebody
course.
Somebody asked me if, like, you know, the whole euthanizing the dog thing
Well,
came
we're
up.
friends.
Like, if Ebola got close to my family or whatever, something like that, and they said, and someone told you it would be it would be safer to euthanize Joe the cat, would you? And I'm like, yes. It's just like I would euthanize Joe the cat. Now give me an excuse to get rid of Joe. That guy's an asshole.
There's a really bad cold going around.
He's depressed. But yeah, Joe the cat has turned into such a prick, man. He's unbelievable. That cat, you did a whole RT life with him, Brandon.
He always targeted me, and everybody thought I was a jerk.
Because he meowed at you.
He did all sorts of mean things. When people were around, when it was just the two of us, he was cool.
I'm going to have to record the way Joe the cat meows in the morning. And it's like, I get up at 6:30 every day. 6:30, I'm up and ready to go. Man. 7:30.
Oh, you're getting called out.
Ashley called me out. 7:30. 7:15 I get up. 7:15 I get up. And I'm ready to go at 7:15. But that cat, doesn't matter if I got 6:30 anyway, Ashley. The cat, half an hour before he knows I'm going to get up, just starts like this caterwaul, just like window rattling meow.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't stop. Joe the cat. What a fucking
It's like
lunatic.
a death rattle.
Yeah, he's
The
unbelievable.
pre-alarm clock, getting you warmed up to get out of bed.
I remember sleeping in the annex on the beanbag and then just hearing, just like it's really bad.
Yeah.
Did he like come to the beanbag and do it next to you, or was he just somewhere in the
or
room?
he'll do this thing where he just like licks me and rubs me until I get up. I'm like, all right, I'm up.
Then does he
And
just
I'm
take
like,
your
now
spot on the
what?
beanbag?
Now what? Yeah, he just wanted me up.
Yeah, he's bossing you around. He's showing his dominance. So here, I'm going to read something, but then I have a story to tell after that. I want to remind everyone, this episode of the podcast is brought to you by I fulfilled my greatest nightmare possible this weekend.
Wait, let me think about this. What is Gus's greatest
It
nightmare?
has to be in a social situation.
Yeah.
It has to, correct, to involve other people.
Correct?
Did you sing in public?
No, that is bad, but no.
Karaoke would be, getting you to go to a karaoke night would be unfucking.
I'd be like Joe the cat. I'd be like clawing at you. You get fucked up.
Were you in a public pool?
No. That's a weird thing to ask. But
It seems like you'd be uncomfortable
So
in a public
public?
pool.
Outside,
Okay.
Oh,
heat, music.
you went to
I
ACL?
went to ACL.
You did?
Who are you?
I know.
What'd you go see?
Nothing. Because
What?
it was fucking miserable.
Oh.
I got there and realized how terrible it was.
You
I
went
can
on
hear it from my
Saturday?
house.
I went on Friday.
Oh shit. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was hot as hell.
Yeah.
And dusty.
I was on Sunday. It was nice. Everything was cool.
It was muddy though.
Not that bad.
Dude, the weather today in Austin was perfect, except for the insane wind.
Yeah. They at ACL they have they have cans of water. It looks like beer cans, but they're blue cans.
Yeah.
It says Austin City Limits and bottle or canned water. And at one point I was sitting next to these group of like frat looking dudes, and they were all fucked up. They were all so drunk. And one of them comes back with like waters for all of them because I guess he's like the less drunk one. And he's getting like water for all of his friends, being responsible. And he hands it to this one guy who's sitting next to me. And the guy goes, "What's this?" The guy he goes, "What's water? Just drink it." He goes, "You fucked up, dude. This isn't water." And he like cracks it open and starts chugging it. He goes, "Whoa, wasn't expecting that." I guess it looks so much like a beer can. He was convinced that his friend was giving him another beer.
I went to and last night there was this girl who I'm sure was on some kind of drug.
A lot of that going around.
She climbed up on the top of this tower that they had made.
It's a bad idea.
I think it's it's some kind of like figure. It's probably like 20 feet in the air, and everybody was crowded around, and there was no way to get her down. And she was just kind of like milking it. She would like point down like she was going to jump, or she'd point up like she was going to keep climbing and trying to get people to cheer one way or another. And I stayed for like a half hour because it was pretty good entertaining, but they eventually did get her down.
I'm gonna see if I can send it to Patrick. I took a photo at ACL because it's right by my house, and I would just walk down there with the kids and held them over the fence.
You could probably hear it just as
Like,
well.
you could.
Yeah.
Ashley was in the house and she was like humming along to something, and then she realized she could hear a band that she loves. She didn't even know was at ACL. She could hear them from the house, and she didn't even realize it and was picking up on it. But I took a picture. I'll send this to Patrick real quick. I took a picture of all the fucking bikes.
Oh, that was
ACL.
crazy.
That is crazy how many bikes there were. Crazy.
Yeah, it's just like a sea of bikes. Like you go down Barton Springs Road, and then on one side's ACL, then on the other side is just bike parking. Like as far as you can see, just bikes stacked up. It looks like a transformer because it's just like a pile of metal.
Someone just like put them on top of each other.
Yeah. It's like, where's your bike? Somewhere in the pile.
There it is. I'm gonna see if I can't even express this. And it was like funny because there was like a mall of bikes basically, and then there was fences all around the place just to keep people out of the park because they erected all these fences just to make it a ticketed event. And hey Patrick, I'm sending this to you over the internet. It's magical. As a subject line, I put cars. I have no idea why. They're bikes, but I put cars. The fences everywhere, the bikes were on the fences. Like these are like 7-8 foot fences, and people had hooked the front tires over all the fences. But then there was like every 20 feet, there was a sign that said no bike parking, and there was like a little gap right around that one sign. Like it was like that, but then everywhere else was just loaded
like
with bikes.
I know what you're talking about. It's like those signs had repellent.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I can't get too close to that sign. But right here, between the two no bikes, I can do it there. The signs aren't close enough.
Everyone else has. And then there's a little bridge on Barton Springs Road, which is where Zilker is. It's over a little like creek that runs from Barton Springs down to the river.
There's
Yeah,
all the
that's
bikes.
all the bikes. I tried to capture it. That's at night. And we'll put this in the link dump if you're listening to the audio podcast. But it's how many bikes is that, Chris?
Oh, I don't
Go.
know. 8. 100.
It is a ton of bikes.
Yeah.
But there's a bridge that goes over the creek, and people are walking back over that from ACL drunk. And there's just at the midpoint of the bridge, there's a sign as you're like walking along the sidewalk, looking over the railing. There's a big sign that just says "Don't." That was it. It just said "Don't," and I laughed so hard at that when I saw it. I think I have a picture of that too. So that's Patrick. This one's going to be called "Do It."
It was such a mass of people. It was unbelievable. I don't know how many.
You've
I think
never
it was
been
like
before.
60 or 70,000 people. I've never been there.
And the crazy thing is, this
Because it's a nightmare for me.
Well, what brought you out
I had
into
a
the
meeting
sun?
there.
What?
Get a meeting?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I can tell you more about it off the
Yeah.
podcast.
Why?
Yeah, I had to go
Let
there
me guess. You set up this meeting.
for this meeting, and then it was like,
Who set up the meeting? Was it you?
They did.
They did?
Yeah.
They wanted you to come to ACL.
Yeah.
they had their own private area. right?
Yes.
That you went to.
Oh, so you got to a private area where there was no people.
Yes, that's how they drew me in.
Or less people. And you didn't see anything.
No.
Yeah, I walked down there with the kids and it was at night, so I held them over the fence to see
people on drugs.
Yeah, to see Eminem. There was like 4 F-bombs.
See Eminem.
4 F-bombs in 12 seconds. I was like, all right, we're done with this. Let's go.
We'll go back to the house where we can hear it anyway.
Yeah,
Don't.
really.
Here's a sign.
That's the don't sign on the bridge. It says don't. Don't do it.
But yeah, it was an experience. But if I can finally say I went there, that's it. Done.
I don't understand how it's that crowded, and now it's 2 weekends. This is the second year that they have 2 weekends, and presumably it's supposed to be half the crowd, but it's like, no.
No. Just let them sell more tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it rain.
Awesome. Good for them. I can imagine like the problems planning that event. Like the cell phones don't work at all. Like you start getting close there and it's like, you don't realize, well, maybe you do, but it's like how worthless your cell phone is without an internet connection.
Yeah.
Or without even being able to make a phone call. It's like, this device serves no purpose.
It plays games, but only games that don't have to connect to the internet.
Right.
Yeah. Paul was going to the bathroom, and I was just waiting there, and my phone didn't work. So I just put it in my pocket, and I didn't know what to do. And she said, like, I looked like the most awkward guy in the world because you just, like, I don't know, am I supposed to look at other things or like, it's just like, I don't know what to put with my hands.
Like pretend to do stuff.
You know, I should have thought about this at the time, but I know that the protesters in Hong Kong, they have like a similar problem where they can't use their phones. So there are text messaging apps or like instant messaging apps that communicate via Bluetooth.
Oh,
so
that's
you don't,
cool.
So the Bluetooth on your phone
device
still
to
works.
device.
Right, so it's just device to device communication, peer to peer style.
That's really clever.
Yeah, so you could communicate that way. I was like, oh, I should have used that. That way I could communicate with other people that I knew.
But what's the range?
I don't know how it works. If everyone has to be using it.
It like jumps from device to device.
So I don't know.
It's called a mesh network.
That's really cool.
That's the way that works. So it's like you have nodes along the way, and just like it's called a mesh because everyone has it and everyone's a point, and everyone is both a receiver and a broadcaster. Then it's like you just build a mesh that way.
So you're going through like a web of people that are just in the physical pathway of who you're
It's like
trying
an
to reach.
ad hoc network that's being built on the fly.
That's pretty cool.
There was, when Gus and I were working in internet technologies in the late 90s, in the dot-com era, that was a big thing that people were pushing for rural areas, was if they give everyone these big wireless connections, like on poles, and then they would just like, they would build a network that way because, as we learned from the Google Press Kit, it's very hard to build a fiber network, and put cables in the ground. It's really expensive. And even in a place that's as dense as Austin, where there's households like every 40 feet, it's even harder when there's houses every 5 acres or something like that, It's just not worth it. It's not cost effective. In fact, for the telephony network, they have a bunch of stuff that's that bridges that gap. I went on a hunting trip one time. I don't hunt, but I was like on a company trip where we took the customers out, and I just went along to drink.
I don't listen to music, but I had to go to a meeting.
There you go, exactly
same thing.
right. But I had to go to fucking Loving County, Texas. Loving County, Texas is like right in the part of Texas you never go to, which is like the border between New Mexico and Texas, like that like hard corner that's there.
Oh, yeah.
And the population density of where I was 0.1. That means there was one person every 10 square miles out there. It's just nothing but like land and land and land. Like it was the first time I'd ever heard someone talk about land in terms of sections and not in terms of acreage. And I was like, what's a section? And they said, a section is 640 acres. And it's like, why would you get a term for that? You know what I mean? And so anyway, this guy was really interesting out there, but he had a phone line at his house. I was like, how much did it cost to get your phone line out here? And he said, it cost $30 installation. That was it. But he asked the guy who installed it, and it cost the phone company about $12,000 to install it, to get it out there.
Yeah, they're like legally required to run it there.
It's called the Universal Service Fund. There was a law that was passed that everybody on their phone bill every month pays $3 a month so that everybody can get phone service, regardless of where they are. And they've been talking about doing the same thing with broadband for a long time, where broadband access is like a fundamental right in the U.S. and everyone should have access to it. But that's just going to mean there'll be some kind of federal fee that's applied to all of our bills monthly.
There was a proposal. I'm looking up the specifics on it right now, but I want to say it was Verizon had approached the FCC about changing the definition of what broadband is.
Oh, great.
Oh, they tried to change it to
Whenever
like
Verizon talks to the government, I get nervous.
Right. So I believe they wanted to change it. I can't find a specific story, but I believe they wanted to say 4 megabits of data qualified as broadband. That way they could claim they were offering broadband to a wired.
But they turned it down. They were like,
the FCC
no.
overturned it, saying that was ridiculous.
That's
There's no way you
bullshit.
could claim that. But I forget what the number they settled on was. I think the number they settled on was 10. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah,
so it's
that's
an
right.
issue if they wanted to change it so they can advertise.
Yeah, well, so
broadband.
they can call their services broadband.
Did you hear was the same thing's happening with Tito's? I guess like
Tito's Vodka.
Tito's Vodka
Thank you.
company, yeah.
Tito's Vodka. It started in Austin, but it's spread across the country. I think there are vendors in California that are competing with Tito's now.
Yeah.
That's trying to sue them because they say they're handmade.
It's handmade vodka, yeah.
Yeah, handmade vodka, but obviously with that kind of distribution, it's all made with a machine. So I think Tito's came out and said, but yeah, we use our hands to connect the hoses like to the machines. Like they're trying to find any legal way they can get out, around that.
Well, how do you make vodka anyway? Like with your, how do you make
potatoes.
vodka? Potatoes?
Yeah.
What are they doing? Just squeezing potatoes?
You can actually make vodka out of other things as well.
There's great
things.
vodka.
There's great
Ciroc is
yeah.
great.
But there's specific vodka that's called potato vodka.
I believe the
So then
main
what's normal vodka?
I believe
I think-
the main one's potato, isn't it?
I believe so.
I believe it is.
Yeah. What is vodka made
What
from?
is anything though? People, this comes up a lot. Like, what is vodka? But what is anything?
Most
Like, what is-
vodka is made from fermented grains such as sorghum, corn, rice, rye, or wheat, though you can also use potatoes, fruits, and even just sugar.
sorghum. There you go.
Are you asking like a breakup of the,
Well, like
elements?
Like, no, like
the
whiskey.
periodic
It's like,
table?
It's like I understand that whiskey's like, well, I don't know what it is, like barley and other shit. And it's like a grain. But then how do you make it? Like, what do you do? It's like I deal with corn all the time. How the hell do I make corn whiskey? How would I go from like I got a corn on the cob? I want to make a fermented drink.
Mash.
Is that what you do?
You just mash it and
Sure, that's a thing, right? Sour mash.
Mash.
And then you
you
cook it.
squish it up and then you put it in a pot or something.
Right,
and
you
then
boil
let
it.
sit for a while.
What are you squishing it in before you put it in the pot? You squish it and then put it in the pot?
Thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's figure this out. Let's figure this out. Okay, so I think you squish it, then you get that stuff, and you boil it, and then you take the condensation, like the still, and then you take that and the drippings, and then you ferment that.
How do you
I am absolutely, if I have time, which I won't, I'm going to try to make whiskey based on what you just said. I'm going to go out. I don't even know the still part of it, but I'm going to I'm going to get corn, mash it up.
all of it verbatim?
I'll probably drink it and immediately go blind whenever I drink out of that fucking thing.
How do you make whiskey? Let's see.
I don't want to know. I really don't want to know. I want to try to
To be fair,
The,
Gus,
the first one on WikiHow is 20 steps. I think I may have been missing something.
You might have been missing stuff like
to be fair, whenever we tried to make
step
beer
one, buy whiskey.
with the
That did not go well.
yeah, that didn't go.
Didn't it grow fur?
Yeah.
I was afraid it would grow
we
legs
missed,
and walk
we missed
away.
the important bottle it and drink it steps.
Oh God!
Very
At some
key.
point, we were like, "What the fuck is that smell?"
You guys were, that was the worst idea ever. You guys
And
were
then,
so happy
and then
about
it turned out to be dead rats.
Yeah.
So I guess you won.
I do not miss the old
Congratulations.
studio. I mean, because of all the fermented
Studio.
beer and dead rats.
I remember our last times that we recorded in that studio. It was that wind and rainstorm that sounded like it was going to take down the whole building. Remember that?
Yeah, you
That was
did
like-
the whole podcast like this.
Right. Yeah. That was amazing. It was scary.
One of my favorite things about that studio is when we interviewed Patrick, we didn't have a chance to show him our studio. Like, it's not like we intentionally didn't show it. And then we hired him, and then we brought him there for the first time. I just imagine in his head, he was like, "Whoa."
I know we had the discussion. We're like, if he asks to see it, we'll show it to
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
But if he
that's what
doesn't,
it
if he
is.
doesn't ask, no. we'll keep it hidden.
Sucker.
Well, you got called the fuck out on Twitter for not knowing how to make whiskey.
Oh, sorry.
Some guy literally. This is Jay.
I don't know how to make a car either. I mean, someone call Henry Ford. Fucking wake him up.
This is Jay Bucky 1092 said, Gus, wow, you do not know how to make whiskey. Too long didn't read. Make slurry, ferment it, distill it, and age it.
That's exactly what I said.
So just make slurry.
That's what I said. Well, you know what? I know the important part.
Fucking,
I know you fucking open it, pour it in a glass, and drink it.
I just don't. I'm a busy modern man. I don't have time to make my own slurry. I buy my slurry.
Can you
I got a slurry guy.
can you
Oh
make
my god.
can you make wine from any grape? Can I just go buy some grapes and
Yeah.
I don't know. It's probably not good. You probably need to. Oh man, speaking of which, I don't know why I made me think about this. I read this other article a couple of months ago talking about why Costco wine is bad. And I don't know this for a fact. It's just based on the article I read. Well, I'll find it and I'll put it in the link dump.
I got. You want to? I go ahead.
But apparently, there's when it comes to like grape harvesting, in order to make wine, if you pay for a decent bottle of wine, they harvest the grapes by hand.
Yeah.
If you buy a cheap bottle of wine, instead of harvesting the grapes by hand, they just have this machine that goes through and basically rips everything out. So you end up with grapes as well as like the sticks and the stems and everything getting mashed in. But
Tarantulas.
the machine also gets like rats and animals
Oh,
and mashes them up as well. So when you buy a cheap bottle of wine, it's because there's a machine doing it. And there's not an actual person clearing that shit out.
Sounds like protein to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
get some mad gains with this wine.
Yeah. And I think the article was like, you don't have to spend a lot of money on wine. Just try to spend like $12 a bottle or more. You probably have a person picking it. Oh, no, sorry. It wasn't Costco. It was Trader Joe's wine they were talking about.
Be very careful.
Trader Joe's wine. Yes, not Costco. Costco's a wonderful company. Love them.
I'm sure Costco's got somebody out, a minter out there picking every grape for you and not using the machine.
But it was Trader Joe's.
They probably just run the machine straight into the vat and turn that into wine, too.
And then they sell it to you in a fucking 6-pack.
In college, there was a thing where you bought Franzia wine, box wine. You take it out of the bag and pass the bag around, and you slap it first. And then we had like a friend.
Why
and
you slap the bag?
No, you just gotta slap the bag.
It's a game. You drink it, and then you slap it, and if people aren't satisfied with your slap, you have to keep drinking. So it's like, no, that's a bullshit slap. Slap it again. And so you have to keep slapping it until people are satisfied.
Well, the guy who was hosting the party, it was his birthday, and he was this big dude, and I was standing next to him, and he was like, yeah, and he slaps it, and he slapped it so hard, the bag burst, and it's just like, wine got like,
oh my God.
He was like, and I'm like standing there, and I'm like, I can't get pissed because it's his party, but I don't know what to do. It's this awkward situation. I'm like, I don't know how to react.
You should have slapped him.
Were you It's like you were partying with a god of wine and food. It's like this big guy.
Yeah.
What is the god of wine do to you? Does he like attack Tokyo?
I don't know. I thought it was a big guy who just like drinks wine and gets drunk and does stuff.
Brandon just made this like motion of like knocking down a mountain or something like that.
He's a big dude, and
Like
it's like a big bag.
is gonna do that.
It's like I saw it in slow motion.
I'd be more upset about spilling that amount of wine in a closed apartment. I mean, it's just
No, it was outside.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
That's a
Probably
little
didn't
bit
let you
better.
back inside after that.
That's a little bit better.
That motherfucker's going to drip all over the carpet.
I slowly made my way out.
Yeah, you can't do it all at once. You don't want them to notice.
Man, I ran into something. This is a really specific homeowner issue, and you'll be happy because you're now in a condo and you can like just call somebody and they do this for you. But I had to replace a toilet seat in my house because it cracked. Like it was like a 7-year-old toilet seat. So the toilet seat cracked somehow. I don't know how. Ashley and I got in a big debate over who cracked the toilet seat. It's Ashley.
Joe the cat.
It was Ashley. But it was just like get rid of this thing and replace it because it's just weird to have a toilet seat with like a crack in it. And so I went to go replace it one day. Went to Home Depot, got a toilet seat, brought it home, and I have a. I'm gonna bring it the brand it up because I'm so fucking pissed. I have a Kohler toilet.
Kohler.
Kohler, which is like they're really fancy like one-piece toilets, which I guess is the thing. Like people are like, I can't believe my toilet has two pieces. It's like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? So this has the people at the house before me renovated, I guess, and put in this one-piece toilet seat. I go under the toilet to unscrew the plastic nut that holds on the $25 toilet seat to just unscrew it and just replace it. Right? Not there. There's no nut underneath. So
Every toilet I've ever sat on has that.
Every toilet in the world. You don't need to mess with the design of a toilet. They work perfectly. They're fine. Don't fuck with it. So they have these things. They're metal anchors that go into the toilet, and then like there's like wall anchors so they go out when you screw in them.
Shit.
And that's what they put in a toilet. And to replace that is a $65 anchor kit, which is just 2 more anchors and a bolt, and that's it. That's it. And I had with this thing, I had to like get a crowbar and pry the bolts out. It's actually part of.
That didn't break your toilet?
No, because I had to like protect the toilet. Seriously, replacing a toilet seat on this motherfucking toilet cost me $120, and it took me 4 calendar days, but it took me about 6 hours of work straight.
What was
to
wrong
replace a fucking toilet seat?
Well, now you got the crowbar, so next time you do it, it'll cost less.
Oh, I'm so mad. I used that crowbar from here, that metal crowbar. It's a bolt coming out of the thing. You're fine.
What was wrong with the seat? Like, was it gonna break or was it broken off?
Yeah, no, it's just like you have toilet seat's a ring, right?
Right.
It had a crack like right here, like
Does
at
it hurt?
2
Just
at 2
the seat?
o'clock.
It sounds like character.
Give you a little pinch. Give you a little like.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
Give you a little.
It's a game you play every time you sit on
Yeah.
the toilet.
You're
So
like-
don't shift too much weight on that
And
side.
it's just like it's not. People come over and it's like this toilet. You don't have a broken toilet seat.
You got to explain it, listen.
Yeah.
Put a little more weight on the right side.
Something happened. I'm not sure the toilet seat broke.
No, it'll keep people off your toilet. It's a good thing.
What's that?
Why wouldn't you want?
I just don't like it when people come in and
I'm
use my
never
toilet
going to a
like
party
that.
at your house.
I'm
No,
totally
after
gonna come over
everybody-
and just
no,
do all
everybody-
sorts of
I
weird things
go
in
and
your
I have
house.
like the most intense antibacterial, and I like scrub that thing down.
Yeah, people, you're like everybody else around here. He's got that. He's freaked out about that too. I mean,
it weirds me out.
People get freaked out about bathroom stuff, and Gus is like a huge. Every time I'm in the bathroom, here, I wish I didn't think like this. I think about you when I'm in the bathroom, like not when I'm like in the stall or anything, but when I go to the sink. I wash my hands and I think about you because I think how paranoid you are about people.
Man, I have a bathroom story.
I've got one too.
Today, I walked into our fucking brand new bathrooms. I walk in. One of the stalls has a paper sign that says out of order. Right, that's weird. It's like, I don't need a stall anymore. I walk up to the urinal and I look at it and I could see that water has overflowed from the out of order toilet and it's just all over the floor into the urinal. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do this. I just like turned around and walked out to the other bathroom. It's like, I'm not going to deal with this. It's a brand new bathroom. How is it already broken?
Because we have animals that work here.
The bathroom's broken, by the way, Chelsea. Is she still here? She's gone.
I don't know what it is. I go to you with my toilet stories as well. Like, what is it about like Gus is the toilet guy? Today, I went to we have like another toilet we have access to, another bathroom, and in the stall there was a chair. And I wouldn't have been as weirded out if it was just a normal chair, like, one that you can't move. But this was a fold-up chair, and it was specifically folded down and just sitting there facing the toilet. And it was the weirdest thing. And, like, I couldn't get out of the image of, like, the lights going out and then, like, this ghost just, like, appearing.
Your ghost watching you poop?
Yeah.
Yeah, watching you poop.
Yeah, it
your
was
butt.
like a president or something.
In the new bathrooms, there's, like, an automatic light?
Yeah.
Light doesn't stay on for very long. Like if you're sitting on the toilet and then like
Gavin ran into this.
No,
yeah,
so is Brendan.
Everyone. Okay, well it's a universal problem, but it's like you'll be sitting there on the toilet, all of a sudden it goes pitch black. Yeah, and you're like, and it's like you open the door and you're like, I turn away.
Oh my god!
And I'm like trying to get the sensor to read that there's someone. And I'm like, all right, well I'll just wait for someone to come in.
The scariest thing is there's an exit sign, and when the lights go off, everything looks black. But then your eyes start to adjust, and they get more sensitive to light. So there's this slow red light that gets brighter and brighter and brighter below the stall. It looks like you're in PT.
It's the portal of hell slowly opening to consume your feces. Would that be terrifying if there was like a portal to hell? Like that was your solution to the bathroom was flush it all to hell.
Yeah, flush it all hell.
What do you guys? You saying PT reminds me because Alien Isolation is out. Have any of you guys played that yet?
I've been playing Alien Isolation.
I've seen you, on achievements getting it.
It's good. It's scary. I think you and I have talked about this before. Like from my childhood, I think Alien was like the only thing that really scared me.
Pretty fucking scary. Somebody posted the original trailer to Alien on Reddit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a very 70s trailer, but it's still very fucking scary.
Yeah, that game really nails the atmosphere well.
Yeah.
And you play for a long time before you see the alien. It's like you're creeping around. Like at first, for the first hour, so I was creeping around really nervous. I thought, wait a minute, I haven't seen the alien kill anyone yet, so I can't be killed yet. So then I was a lot more confident. But then as soon as I saw the alien kill someone, I was like, oh shit. Okay, now I know the game knows that I know the alien's there, so now it's open season on me too.
Have you seen the outtake from Alien where the guy in the alien suit kind of like crabs walks?
We talked about that on last week's screenplay.
I don't know if I want to see that.
Oh, that was it.
I don't want to see anything that ruins movies from my childhood.
It's worse than the Darth Vader, like, what is it, the humph? What do you call it?
The frump.
Frump.
Yeah.
Darth Vader frumps. It's awful.
Yeah, this is the alien doing the crab walk.
Yeah?
It's really, really bizarre.
Yeah.
You don't watch it.
Okay, I would definitely won't because I don't want to ruin for me. But I'm really happy with where this generation of consoles is finally. Like I feel like the next generation of consoles has finally begun, and I think the game that did it for me was Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
Because it's like a game that came out and it's like it's an original game, it's original IP. Did you play it?
Yes, finished it.
And are you a big Tolkien fan? I don't even know if you are or not.
I've read the books. I've read the main trilogy. I'm not a big Hobbit fan. I've read that too.
People complain about the story. I love the story.
It just takes some liberties with some of the lore, but I thought
Is it the one character? Is that a big liberty? That one character?
I think it's also the way that he dies and comes back, and like the symbiotic relationship between the wraith and the human.
Okay.
Like that. It just kind of.
You play a ranger of Gondor, who is basically possessed by an elven spirit.
Correct.
But a very old elven spirit, and
from the Second Age.
From the Second Age, which is very important to the story.
Yes.
But I thought it was very great. You're a huge Tolkien fan.
Yeah, but I haven't had a chance to play it yet.
As long as stuff is handled well, I like when people add to stuff like that.
Yeah. So the interesting thing to me is you talk about Shadow of Mordor being like the beginning of like the current generation. I feel like Alien Isolation also does some things that make me really excited about the current generation of games.
Yeah.
And both games are based on movies or based on stories that have been adapted to movies. Like obviously Middle Earth existed as a book first, but most people know it as the Lord of the Rings movies. But Alien Isolation has a couple of features that actually make me glad to have a Kinect finally.
I said Shadow of Mordor, but it was Destiny that did it for me. I don't know why I said Destiny was the first big release.
Oh, right.
And I guess it's now such a staple, I guess, that I hadn't thought about. Anyway, go ahead.
In Alien Isolation, it turns the camera and the microphone on your Kinect on. You can turn them off if you want.
What?
But if you're hiding, they call it peek mode. If you're like sneaking or like hidden in a locker, if you want to look around, you can just move your head.
Get out of here.
Yeah, and it'll like look around crates or look through grates. And also, if you make a loud noise and the Kinect hears it, it could attract the alien your position.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's a great game if you like turn off all the lights, play by yourself, turn the volume up, and then see if you freak yourself out. But the interesting thing I never really used the Kinect camera for something like this. When the Kinect camera's on, there's a little white light that illuminates next to it. I'd never seen before.
A little white light that illuminates to like see you in the room.
It lets you know the Kinect is on, the camera is on, and watching you actively. I guess.
Did that make
I
it
never
creepier?
noticed that. I like that.
Yeah.
Did it make it creepier?
It's kind. I know it kind of gets lost in the overall light of
Yeah.
the display since the Kinect is right next to the display. But I'd never seen the light on, letting me know the camera was doing something.
Do you intentionally try to play at night? Like, is it more of like it's not adrenaline, but it's more stimulating to be scared?
It's hard to be scared during the day.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still such a wuss. I can only play it in short bursts. It's like I'll play for like 30, 45 minutes. Be like, okay, that's enough. I'll be like, what? Are you tired of it? Like, no. I need to relax a little bit. I'm like, I get so wound up and tense. Like, no, I gotta unwind. All right.
When I was replaying PT at home, because I really wanted to beat it, there were certain parts where I know something scary was going to happen. So I went to the side and behind the TV and just kind of like move the stick until I knew like it was over. But
Really?
like I knew it was going to come, but I couldn't stand there and watch it happen.
It is a very strange thing to me about those horror games. Like PT was a unique horror experience because it's like I have to do something in order to scare myself. Like in a movie, you're just sitting there waiting for it to happen.
Yeah.
And you can tense and there's nothing you can do about it. Here it comes, or you can leave. But
like a roller coaster.
You have to make it happen in PT, and it's just like I don't want to look there. I know there's something horrible right there, and I don't want to look.
But, in order to advance, this is it.
Yeah. I got to do this.
It's like having the trigger on the guy who's like pushes you over the edge on the roller coaster. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, well,
What's
we'll
trigger?
just wait. What? I don't
There's
know.
no such guy, but yeah, I totally get what you're
Well,
saying.
if there was such a guy, that would be like, yeah.
You say like if you stop at the top
there
of
was a guy,
yeah,
it would
slope
be
and you
like
just
He's
that
got like
guy.
a sniper rifle, like gonna set that card off. Yeah.
Well, whatever.
Well, whatever.
It's just
Some
like-
guy pushing some buttons that start a roller coaster.
Here, I'm gonna read this other thing. I want to remind everyone this episode of the podcast is also brought to you by. So, I feel like we've been talking. We've been here for about an hour now, and there's something in particular that we wanted to bring up here tonight. And I'm just kind of baiting you guys if you want to go with it.
So I think people are familiar that there's been a Smite tournament going on, right? And
Gus, you're playing in it.
Yes.
so this all was introduced by Jack, and what he was suggesting is, the departments have their own teams. So one of the things is like a live action team. So we're like, oh, that sounds cool. So we got back to our office, and Chris and I were just seeing who was here to be on the team with. And then like Blaine comes up to us, and he's just basically like,
Well, no, we were like, hey, Brandon, do you want to? We should do a live action team. Like, it was like me and you. It's like, oh, well, we should do it. And it's like, hey, Blaine, do you want to be on our Smite team?
and he was just like, oh, no, I'm going to go be with Chris Martin because he's excellent at Smite. I'm going to beat you guys. Like, as obnoxious as Blaine could possibly be.
It's like, you guys are going down.
Yeah.
Chris Martin's awesome at it.
Oh. And so he comes back about 15 minutes later, and he was like, guys, Chris Martin's with the team with the Adams.
No, he was like, hey, so I'm actually freed up now. If you guys, if you're still, looking for a third member.
Yeah, so we did the bigger thing and told him no and took Jordan in instead.
Jordan, who does, RTAA, because, Chris ended up being with the two Adams in the tech office.
And they basically formed the unbeatable team. Like, they're
that's the who knows? There's some good Smite players.
So we've been practicing, and we're pretty excited about the tournament. And then
me, you, and Jordan.
Me and Jordan, and we've been practicing, and then we find out that we're going against the Atoms in the first round. And I felt we held our own, but in the end, we still lost. And then we come to find out that we were originally supposed to be against somebody else, and Blaine's team was supposed to be against the Atoms. Mm-hmm. But when he found that out, he went and complained and cried about it, and eventually got the bracket changed. So we all of a sudden now went against the Atoms, and then he got another seed and won his first match.
He played against people who didn't play the game.
He didn't play the game, and then he went up to Jordan afterwards.
Are you guys giving spoilers?
No, this video's already been released.
It's already happened.
Okay.
And then he came up to Jordan afterward and was like, "Oh, hey man, I'm sorry, that sucks you guys in advance. I really wish that would have happened." So we've been most passively, aggressively ignoring him in gaming, giving him such a hard time because it was the most infuriating thing I've ever felt.
Gamesmanship. It's part of the game.
Are you defending him or
getting the right seed is part of the game? Absolutely. It's tough.
Yeah, but the seeds were already
He's playing a bigger game.
selected. He's playing.
So who do you appeal to?
He's playing the crybaby game.
Who do you appeal to?
We didn't go any further than that. And that
who
was
made
alleged.
this?
That was what we were told, but no one has denied it.
Who made the seeds?
But it was.
But that being said, the night before we played, we randomly in Smite, our team we were practicing ended up playing his team.
Yeah, and we
destroyed them.
Yeah, destroy them. There's no doubt in my mind that we would absolutely blow them out of the water. So I feel like we're the people's champions.
Yeah, no one knows about us.
Yeah,
so we're the people's in me and him.
But it was
Jordan.
so sad. Blaine was trying to play with us again today, and we're like, no, and he got the most puppy dog face.
Blaine's getting hammered on Twitter right now.
Anymore, huh?
Blaine's getting hammered on Twitter right now.
Good.
It was so shady.
Now maybe we'll have him on next week to defend
It hurt
himself.
my heart.
You gonna be okay? You gonna make it through?
Maybe,
No.
It's a
I don't know.
good prize for that Smite tournament. It's a good
I know.
prize. You're not gonna get it.
apparently it's
You're not gonna get it.
cutthroat.
No, we're not.
You don't have a shot at it now.
Here's the thing: is we didn't even think we'd get first, but we were like, maybe we can hit the top 1 to 4.
Oh, you didn't think you would get first? You were right. You didn't. You got nothing. You got 0, whatever that is.
You got first from the bottom.
Yeah. Well,
Is there a loser's
Here's the
bracket?
deal: we are doing the losers bracket. Jordan keeps scheduling. It's whoever loses, he's like, "Hey, come play Smite with us."
Yeah, it's
There's
not official.
there's not a real losers bracket.
No one knows about it.
unofficial.
It's unofficial for pride.
Really? Jordan's running the loser's bracket.
Jordan was, I think, the most upset about the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah, Jordan's serious.
Well, that's serious enough to win. Apparently, he's heading up the losers bracket.
He didn't reorganize the bracket.
Yeah.
So I'm not. You guys got all those teams. I'm not even on a team because I was in Singapore when you guys did all that stuff and set all those teams. So I'm on the outs. I got nothing.
You could join our team.
Fortunately, okay, I'll join your team.
You start in the losers bracket right away.
Fortunately, I'm terrible at that game. So I'm terrible at all MOBAs. And I would like to be better. I have an appreciation for them. It's one of the few games that or game types that I don't play actively, but that I appreciate the people who do. Because I know it takes a lot of skill and people love it. And I love that all the documentaries I've seen on it, the main one was free to play, which was on Dota. But I'm just not good at MOBAs. And I'm not good at Smite in particular. Smite is actually the one I probably played more than all the others. I've never played League of Legends. I literally have never loaded it up.
Well, for me, it's easier because it's more like the WASD controls. You're moving around and the kind of more of a first-person view as opposed to clicking. I'm trying to get into Dota.
Am I wrong in qualifying it as a MOBA?
No, it's absolutely
No.
MOBA.
Okay.
Yeah, it totally is.
I'm with you. I've tried playing Dota, and my friends play it all the time. But this, to me, Smite is it's more fun because it feels like WoW or something.
Yeah, but I'm definitely giving Dota a try. I have lots of friends who play it. I was like, you should play with us. Okay, and I realized it's a big thing with the international and they had the ESPN coverage. This is huge. It's gonna break through the mainstream. I got to get on it now. I got to be good now. Well, I feel like I'm late at this point. Anyway,
What friends you have to play Dota?
I'm amazed that you don't play MOBAs.
yeah, really. For a long time, I didn't have a PC to play PC games, and now I'm just getting caught up on all of that.
Yeah, I went through a big PC binge between the in that year when the PS4 and the Xbox One came out because I was primarily a console gamer. Then I became a PC gamer for the last year, and it was a wonderful experience because it was all these games that I hadn't played for a couple years. I was playing catch up and all that. But now I think really actually the pivotal moment for me switching back to being an Xbox One gamer primarily and PS4 is I finally wrapped up like my whole last gen experience. Like this summer, I played Last of Us for the first time, and then the remastered edition came out, and I played that on PS4, and that kind of like cleared me out for PS3. And then I finally cleared out my Xbox 360 experience. I closed that out because the last Walking Dead Season 2 episode came out, and that was like the only thing keeping my Xbox 360 still plugged in at that point in time. So now I'm like completely wrapped up, I feel like, on Xbox 360. There's nothing I want to go back and play on.
Did you ever play God of War on the PS3?
Yeah, but that was PS2 to PS3.
Well, there was a PS3 version of it too. That was like one of the best games I played on the PS3.
I got the God of War collection.
Okay.
That came out when God of War 3 came out. That's actually, I bought my PS3 to play that.
Yeah.
And then moved over to Uncharted from there and became a huge Naughty Dog fan.
Borderlands, the pre-sequel, comes out this week. That's the 360.
Is it 360?
Mm-hmm.
I probably won't go back for Borderlands.
And then I don't know if the Game of Thrones and Borderlands Telltale games will be 360 or one. They may be one because The Walking Dead is now available on Xbox One and PS4.
Is it?
Or not? Yeah, I think it's coming out.
It's coming?
Yeah, this month or next month. So it'll be soon. So it could
Walking
be that.
Dead Season 2 was great. Walking Dead Season 2 was not as good as Walking Dead Season 1.
Agreed.
That would be hard to beat, though.
Agree. Yeah, that's such a high bar.
So then, listen, what is it with Walking Dead 2, the TV show on Twitter? That is like fair game for spoilers. People just don't. That is the one show that people do not care about spoiling on Twitter.
That's why I watch it immediately.
I'm going to have to. I mean,
can't.
everyone was posting pictures of stuff. I'm like,
No.
dude, it's been like 4 hours. You know what I mean? It's like, that is the one thing that nobody cares about spoiling on Twitter.
The tough thing is they don't post that for digital purchase until the next day.
That's my problem.
So like HBO Go, you can watch it basically when it releases. Like Boardwalk comes out at 7 p.m. on Sunday. I think you can probably watch it at 8
Walking Dead is
p.m.
not an HBO show.
No, I'm saying as an example, HBO, you can watch it same day.
Right.
But then you have to wait a day from usually all the other networks, and it's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Have they
Luckily, I have no idea where my phone is. So
have they untethered? And Twitter's a mobile platform for you? You never do Twitter on desktop?
I do.
Very rarely
I
do
almost
I ever
never
do
use it on the desktop either.
Boy, Elo died fast, didn't it?
Yeah, it died so fast I didn't even get a chance to find out what it was. What is it?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a minimalist social media network. Meaning it's like not many graphics, not many users, not much traction. It's minimalist across the board. It was one of those things, it was like, they did a really smart thing where they did it invite only, which is a really smart way to do it, because then it becomes people like, oh, can I get into this thing? And like, then there's like people realize.
Yeah, this is horseshit.
And Facebook was for a while, but Facebook had a qualification of university
college
addresses. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. This is like what you would picture a social network would look like in '98. You know.
Listen, dude, if you ever just wanted to hack, or gather people's basically social engineering, all you do is make like a social media network and just start seeding it with people.
And then people just volunteer all their information.
They just say, here, take it all, please.
Yeah, please.
What's the thing that happened with Snapchat? They had a big leak again?
Yeah, well, Snapchat didn't, but basically there was this other software that you could register for, and you'd be able to save pictures that people send you via Snapchat.
Why do people think you can't save a fucking photo that's transmitted over IP?
Yeah, I think it's
if
like
you give
once
me
it's
something
digital,
on my phone,
it's
I do
there
this,
forever.
I do this, and I have a
Snapchat
screenshot.
does tell you if you do that.
Yeah, but you still get the picture.
But it's
No, wait. So explain that to me.
So it'll go like,
Snapchat.
okay, so you Snapchat, you send a picture, and then it'll be like, and then if someone screenshots, it'll be like, screenshot.
Oh, it does that?
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's awesome. That's really cool.
So
I
it
didn't know
does
that.
tell you. So it's like people's, they know. But then there's software that you can download, an app or something that you can download that doesn't. It's not incorporated into the app, so you can secretly.
Yeah, and that's what got hacked. So.
And that would, I assume, save to a cloud at that point or something?
I don't know how they do it.
Because then they would have to get because it has to transmit in order for them to get the pictures. So it has to.
Yeah, I guess it's stored on their server somewhere.
Yeah.
Here's the deal: it's like that thing would only be used for news.
Sorry, fellas.
Yeah, what I read, a lot of stories were saying, don't look at it. You don't want to look at it. It's a lot of underage people.
I don't want to look at it anyway.
Yeah, taking pictures like.
I don't want to look at people's private moments.
Right, but you see on Reddit, like people were posting it, and then people were just like, don't download this. I think Reddit was just deleting all the posts.
Yeah,
when it got leaked.
The same thing happened.
It's also one of those things too, where that's like an invasion of privacy.
Yeah, well, it goes back to like the earlier thing with the celebrities over the summer.
Yeah. It's for me. It's like there's a short-term play and a long-term play with not looking at that stuff. The short-term play is it's not intended for you. It's not meant for you to see, so don't look at it. But the long-term play is I also don't want to create an environment where people are not sending each other nude photos.
Yeah.
That's a
Let's
thing you
not
want
ruin it for
That's
everybody.
exactly. We want to encourage that behavior. We want people to take nude photos and send nude photos.
Well, did you hear Jennifer-
It benefits all of us.
Did you hear Jennifer Lawrence's explanation?
She was awesome.
Yeah, I don't believe she apologized. What she said is she was in a long distance relationship, and either I think with a Beast from
Hey,
X-Men, and
Specifically, Kelsey Grammer.
either he's gonna look at pornography or he's gonna look at that. And I thought that
She
was
just
a
got a
very
lot hotter.
adult way to look at it, and a very like
Daddy issues. Let me see here. Who's
Man,
the Beast? The young
it's,
dude?
I don't know. He's in
Like,
those commercials
no,
now.
I know who you're talking about, but
Yeah.
just the idea is like, she was in a long distance relationship with Beast.
She said
just
committed-
like
she
that
also. I want to be
sta-
clear too. She said she's not. She said this is not something I even need to apologize for.
Yeah.
She did not even come close to apologizing. She doesn't need to apologize.
Yeah, she
for it.
explained it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're trying to tell me who the actor is from the booth, but I can't.
I got
hear
it right here. X-Men First Class Beast. I'm assuming it's the young Beast and not Kelsey Grammer.
Kelsey Grammer.
Hank.
be a hell of an episode. of Frasier.
Nicholas Holt. Is that him?
I think
Yeah.
that's what they were saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
he was the
I
one
think
that
so.
was like, "Oh, I'm a mutant. I have hairy feet."
You.
Oh, he's the kid from Warm Bodies.
Oh yeah. Oh, he was also in that About a Boy too.
Yeah.
You saw it was good.
Warm Bodies is that zombie love story.
You.
It's actually pretty good.
Go
When
on.
I was out a couple weeks ago, you sat in my seat.
I did.
And
Uh-oh.
apparently you put my earpiece in your ear.
Gross.
And when I came back the next week, it was covered in earwax.
My girlfriend is so upset about that.
It was
She keeps trying to get me to clean my ears. but I
so
don't like Q-tips.
disgusting and gross. It was like the thing was orange. We threw it away. I think Patrick wore gloves to get it.
Are you mad though? Because you had you went through the same thing.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have put someone
Brandon,
else's thing in my ear.
Taking this information in stride. Wow,
You're
that's
like-
amazing. How dirty are your fucking ears?
I don't know. I can't see.
like
Look,
you
they
took
hear
like,
great.
Can you hear?
when you took it out, did you look at it and be like, "Oh, I should wipe that off"?
No, I did not.
No,
It
you
wasn't
did. I know you
intentional.
didn't because it was still
not-
there.
I wasn't like, fuck this.
Because it took like 20 minutes and 4 people to help him yank it out of his ear. That's why he went home and took a nap.
When I heard about that,
afterwards.
I felt really bad, and I meant to apologize. And I'm apologizing to you right now.
That's disgusting.
I didn't think of it. I'm sorry. I had no idea.
It was just sitting out here.
I'm sorry. So it had a week to like just ferment.
It was like orange.
That's how you make vodka.
That's the slurry.
Demarais. Oh yeah.
I clean Joe the cat's ears. I do.
Do you want to clean my
How do you
ears?
No, I don't. Ugh.
I'm
do you
just
clean
afraid
Joe's
if
ears?
Q-tips freak me. Like putting that
What's
in my
that?
ear
How do you-
freaks me out.
He's a Q-tip. Cleans ears.
You clean
You're
your
not supposed to put them in your ears.
That's adorable.
That's bullshit.
Do you
I
clean
know
your
it
ears?
says it on the package.
I know it says it not to do it, but whatever.
That's just
Everybody-
a safety. They just say that because they're just covering their bases. They're like,
Yeah, because it's
Covering their
dirt.
bases.
Yeah,
Is there any other product in the world though that is literally the thing you're not supposed to use it
it's
for?
like-
It's what you use it for.
Your car goes up to 100. The speedometer goes to 140 miles an hour. Don't drive it above 70.
yeah.
Wink.
Yeah.
Don't put it in your ear. Wink.
They're pretty clean now.
I always
think.
love
Yeah,
that
because it's all in the fucking thing. We threw it away.
one of them's clean.
If you're gonna get Brandon's attention, do it from the left side.
No shit.
What?
You know, that's we talked about this before. That's a job in India they have. It's part of the culture there. Is
Oh
that
yeah, they have like
ear cleaners on the street?
and you'll just go and they'll be like,
Doot, doot, doot. They have
Yeah.
all these fucking tools and they like stick them.
Oh no!
Oh, you
Do we
saved
still
it.
have it?
Patrick, I love you.
Oh my god.
Patrick saved it. He's bringing it out and giving it to Gus right now.
Exhibit A, Gus's earpiece.
Let me see.
Did you take a photo of it up close?
That's from your ear.
no, wait, I'm sorry. This is not how you make vodka. This is how you get Ebola.
You're like gagging. That's in your ears. That is like 4 inches from your mouth at any time.
Brandon.
Nobody
awful.
Nobody tell my girlfriend.
Yeah,
I've
wait,
never
hold on,
seen-
Wait, we gotta get it tight.
Oh, gotta get tight on this? I gotta like rotate it and work with this thing?
You came to a podcast to call out
See,
plane. but
there'll be a
then
linked up to a high-res photo of
Yeah,
this
we'll-
disgusting thing.
We'll post a better photo of it.
I
It's
have
hard to
never
see.
seen that amount of wax that didn't have a wick in it ever in my life. That's disgusting.
Can we
Gross.
stick a piece of twine in Brandon's ear and light it? If the power ever goes
That is
out.
how I think
putting
they
this
do
over here.
that to get rid of earwax. I'm
So
serious.
when it melts and then you're like, where does it go?
I think you can do that.
Isn't wax? You want some wax in
brave
there?
man.
Yeah.
Do you?
Like it protects your ear. That's why you have it.
What do you want?
You want wax? Wax is good.
It's natural.
You know, there's a genetic flag. It's actually, remember that test I
23andMe?
took? from 23andMe. There's just like one genetic marker that if it's flipped, you have dry earwax versus wet earwax. And typically it's an east-west thing. Not like East Coast, West Coast, like rapper thing, but like people in like the Far East in China have dry earwax. It's dry, and they like have to like chip it out. And,
do I have dry
Americans
or wet
have wet earwax?
I don't know.
Westerners
you
have
old
wet
earwax is what I can tell.
It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
There's not many genes that are like that, which is like a little flip, and it's like here's the change.
Yeah.
And that's one they know is the wet
What
versus
would
dry
be the
earwax.
weirdest wet dry change
Semen.
of a? Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Dry semen, like a cloud of dust,
Yeah.
like powdered semen.
You just shoot it into the air and hope. Come on.
Get in there. It gives a whole new meaning to blowjobs.
It'd be gross though. You just like walk into someone's bedroom. You're like, what is that in here?
Yeah, little Timmy's room's always really dusty.
You had to vacuum it all the time.
Oh, it's like you got to keep like a fucking dustbuster hidden under your mattress.
Be awesome if you could like set off the smoke alarm. Invite your girlfriend over. All of a sudden the smoke alarm goes off.
Oh my god.
Sound effect would be great though. It's like, oh baby, oh. Sound like Wile E. Coyote in the desert.
Oh man. My face hurts from laughing.
That would be the weirdest one, Chris. You nailed it. First try.
Well, Gus actually. I was thinking.
It's okay. We'll take
Isn't there
credit.
kind of
Yes,
powder makeup?
people who are from the East now on Twitter are amazed that people have wet earwax. They're like, "What is wet earwax?" That's disgusting to them.
Well,
Yeah,
so is dry semen. So.
I guess they would, because before the 23andMe test, I'd never heard of dry earwax. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
So I could see why if you have dry earwax, you don't realize wet earwax is a possibility. Which
Which would seem
why don't we
grosser.
know that?
Wet earwax is grosser,
Wet earwax is way grosser.
right? It
But
is.
you have to
Even though
chip-
I have wet earwax,
You have to
like,
chip out dry earwax. That sounds gross.
Hey,
Yeah,
I don't want
that's
anyone
the
chipping
part.
anything out of me.
bop.
Anything.
Nothing.
No.
It's like so they're mining. It's just like they have like a little
We struck gold in you, Brandon.
Ear gold.
Oh my-
Farmahini tea.
hairs all over the place.
Yeah. I wonder. Yeah, so that's one of the markers you can tell. They recently updated 23andMe genetic analysis. I don't know if you've seen it. They did an update about.
Monty saying never knew there was such thing as wet earwax.
They did a
Never
thing
knew it.
about a month ago where they really broke out the. I don't know what to say. The breakdown of where your ancestors came from. They made it a lot more detailed.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So
Did
now,
they? I need to go look.
I haven't
that up.
logged in in like a year.
I think that service renews once a year, and I've been paying for it.
Yeah, I think so too. And you just forget about it.
Yeah.
Well played, 23andMe.
Fuck, man. So I have an iPhone 6 Plus, which I pre-ordered,
do-
which is coming next week.
Okay.
It's like in the mail right now. And this was before they had the bending issue, but I'm just like, I'll just deal with it. That's coming out. But did you read about my car? They're doing an updated version of my car. Gus, have you heard about this?
No.
They're making
is it the features from the D?
The D. Yeah, so it's got a motor for each of the drive wheels, a separate motor, so it goes 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds. And the other thing about it is it has autopilot.
Wait, so you
You
get
can drive your car. Your car drives itself.
You get on the freeway, hit a button, and it just drives
you
itself.
get the features
I've
of the
been-
D through a software update?
You can, dude. My car, the current version of my car, which is a Model S, it does not have the sensors or anything in order to get the software update to do
Gotcha.
it.
Okay.
So you'd have to get the D
Gotcha.
to get the software update to do the autopilot.
Okay.
And they even said in a statement that yes, if you're in a place where it's available or it's regulated, your car can autonomously come and pick you up.
Yeah, they said on
Like
private
Batman?
I've been wanting. Bernie, I've been wanting a robot car for so long. Like you don't
Are
understand.
you
Like
asking me to buy you a car?
He's got his hands together like in
nicer
the,
than
in
my
the
car?
begging position.
No.
Bernie, buy me $130,000 car.
Yeah, I know.
want a robot car, so I want to be
No.
able to like go to like get
yeah,
my
but
car.
you want to be able to talk to your car.
But could you imagine though? Could you imagine though that like, oh, I forgot I parked my car on the other side of the mall. I'll just have it come get me.
Yeah.
And just like the car
I
comes
can't
around.
imagine
my
it.
life.
I've been thinking about it for like years now. I want this robot.
It
car.
exists. Go get it. Just like finance it. Yeah,
Finance it.
I agree with you.
Yeah, they said, I believe what they said was if it's on private property, you can activate that, and it could essentially drive itself. But
It's only on private property.
Well,
because
they're saying that legally. You can still activate it wherever the hell you want to. You're on private property here, so if you want your car to come pick you up at the front door, do it. Although, also, how would you specify to the car, "Come get me"? How would it not just drive? I know it would drive to the wall and like come get you like the Kool-Aid Man. I'm here. Let's go. But the other cool thing about it too is that if you pull up in your driveway, you just go park in the garage, and it parks itself in the garage.
That's awesome.
You go into the house and enjoy your life.
pretty sweet.
Don't they have those cars that, like the wheels rotate 90 degrees? So you can just like slide into a parallel
No, they
spot?
have. They
Is
have
that a real
ones,
thing?
My ex-mother-in-law has a car that automatically parks itself, parallel parks itself.
Really?
It's pretty fucking dope. And it's not. It's like a mid-level SUV that does it. It's just a newer one. Like cars are getting to the point now where they're like incredible. There was a weird point like the early 2000s where like cars had nothing, and then they had LCD screens that you could touch and like Bluetooth and everything. And if you bought one like a year apart, it was a major difference.
Yeah.
And we're at that point now with like, I mean, electric cars are cool, but the real game changer is these pilotless
features.
cars,
Yeah.
driverless cars.
Yeah.
I'm not buying a new car till I get a robot.
I
car.
totally agree with you. I would totally
I'm
wait.
like-
it's just a couple model years away, right? It's like
I
we're
hope
close.
So
It's close. It's close.
I've got my car in 2010. And I'm like, man, if I could make this last till the robot cars.
If you had a robot car, would you actually make a prop robot that you can put in the driver's seat? Just
give it like a chauffeur's
Absolutely.
hat.
yeah. Do you remember the robot actor we had?
Johnny Robot or Johnny Cab? Johnny Cab.
Oh, the robot that we used in the one short with
Brandon Short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like install
Oh yeah,
him
yeah.
in
I
there.
already have one picked out.
God, that caused the biggest fucking fight over that thing. Because that robot came and then like it got messed up. And we had to fix it to turn it back up.
Yeah,
It's like
fix
all this
something
fucking
that was already
drama about
shitty.
fixing that
What
stupid
robot was that? I don't remember this.
That was some dopey like it wasn't really a robot. It was like somebody like made a prop robot out of PVC pipes and circuit boards.
Yeah.
And stuff. And it got like one of the arms got broken and we had to fix it. And it was a big deal about fixing it because the person who was capable of fixing it didn't want to fix it. So
I'm pretty sure this really happened. I think is it Google creating the driverless car?
They're one of the groups working on it. Yeah.
From what I understand, it did get in an accident, but that accident was because someone was driving it manually at the time.
Yeah.
Is that like-
two accidents.
Is that
it
the-
also got rear-ended
That is
by
correct.
someone else.
Is that the-
look at Chris? He's up. on
I'm
his,
telling you, I've been like waiting for robot.
Wow.
He's up on his driverless cars.
I've
yeah,
known Chris
he's
like,
exactly right.
a long time. This is like I'm learning stuff.
Is
Yeah.
this good press for that company? That there
Here's
was
the
an
deal.
accident, but it was
It's
specifically
something
not
like-
their fault?
I think it is.
90
Yeah.
or 90, above 90% of accidents are human error.
Probably all accidents are human error.
Well, there's some that are like, oh, my car broke,
on fire.
tire popped off or whatever. I don't know car.
I don't know car.
No car.
I only know robot car. But like, there's certain things like, manufacturer errors and stuff that cause accidents or, whatever. But with robot cars, oh man, the future is here.
Oh man, the future. Listen, it's here. It's really coming, and it's like to me, it's a total game changer. Because if you will like be like, remember we used to fucking drive these things all the time when we have to do
I
that.
know.
You will totally think like that. You will think it'll be a change of like, yeah, we used to get in these cars and we would have to drive them all the time. Like, see the wheel, we would have to turn that. And
I can't believe-
pedals with our
No,
kids.
no. It'd be there used to be a wheel here.
There will always be a wheel. I think for at least for like 5-10 years, there'll
What
be a
would
wheel.
scare me though is once you had rival companies, they're obviously going to start like negative ads, kind of like the way Samsung is bashing the iPhone. So it's like, what negative ads? Like, what would they make you feel about getting like another brand of
Car
car?
companies
Like,
don't necessarily have negative ads though. Car companies always extol the features of their car. It's that right? They never talk
but it's like
about the
our-
other car.
it's different.
Yeah, it's
though.
like our car was so much better than this other car.
but they're
it's
not based on
it's
technology
not like
though.
it's like a political ad where it's like,
Well, no,
the Hyundai.
it's fueled by
It promised that it would have 26 miles per hour, but
But for the last 50 years, car ads haven't been about features. They've been about like way of life. Like, oh, this guy has a really cool, like hot girlfriend. You want to buy the car. But now, if we're getting to the point where it's about
girlfriend, you want to buy a car?
No, that is the epitome. That is the most intelligent thing anybody has ever said about the advertising industry.
Most intelligent thing anyone's ever said.
Advertising
Maybe
industry.
in the history of this podcast.
But I mean, if you're going to technology and features, then I think you would see that. You'd see the negative ads, but it's like
They already car ads are all about technology and features already. This car has park assist. This car has, active sonar cruise
I've never
control.
Remember
heard
that car that we were in where, how some cars have a backup camera?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This car had like a above camera, and it simulated it with
In
like...
case, what, a bird flies on
Yeah,
top?
it was like, it simulated it with like cameras on the running boards, but it was a view from the top of your car down, so you could see everything around your car 360, and it completely simulated it. It was it was our SUV that we rented. I was like, this is magic. What is this? It looked like a view of your car from like 40 feet above the car. It's like, how is it doing this?
it's just a drone that's following you.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. There's actually a car. There's a prototype or a concept car. I forget what it is that has a drone built into it that like goes up, evaluates traffic in real time, and then comes back down to your car and docks. Yeah. I'll look that up.
It'll be a thing where it's like there's so many drones you can just see them up. It's like, oh, there's traffic over there. Look at all the drones.
Or LA, like you'll never see the sun again because there's like so many drones in the
They're all
sky.
they're all flying. It's like, well, I guess there is traffic.
You got
What
it,
is
Patrick?
this?
No, they're showing
yeah.
Yeah, Patrick, look up the Renault car, concept car. Concept car launches drone to check for gridlock ahead. Thing looks fucking awesome.
I'd be a lot
It's a
more
concept.
impressed. If once they executed it, if not everyone had to launch a drone, if every other Renault on the road was like, okay, there's already a drone in the air, we can just use that data.
Like a mesh network, yeah.
Right. Instead of having to be like, oh, we all need our own drone.
That's what Google and Waze do. It's like they
Yeah.
use like points from everybody else, and the GPS is also transmitting data as to how fast you're moving and everything, and that's how to determine traffic. I had to race down. The reason why I was 1 second sitting in this chair before because I gave one of our cast members for Laser Team. I was giving him a tour of the studio, and then I had to race the kids down and drop them off, and that's all the way across town, and then come all the way back up. Man. Mopac, we always talk about I-35 in Austin as being a really shitty freeway. Mopac's the other shitty freeway we have in Austin. It told me, here's the red line of where traffic is. I'm not kidding. It was spot on. But I was coming
Waze?
4 miles. I'm coming towards this red block.
guy.
I hit it, and then the red block, and that's where traffic started. Ashley and I were amazed that it was that accurate. That stuff's getting crazy now.
I'm a Waze. You don't do Waze anymore, right?
With the robot cars,
That was
Traffic
actually Google
solution.
Maps that did that.
But with robot cars,
No, I
traffic is
don't.
minimized.
Chris, think about these robot cars. What if you're at a green light and the light turns green and all the cars just go at once?
Exactly.
Just think about that.
Think about it. And here's the deal. With okay, so you have a robot. All right, so everyone is worried about parking and stuff. With the robot car,
Chris, let's role play. Chris, I'm so worried about parking.
all right. Well,
What am I gonna do?
all right, well, you know what? You should get a robot car. Because,
What would a robot car do for me?
Okay, here's the deal with the robot car.
Go ahead.
You wouldn't have to park your car.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
Because you could pull up to a place, jump out, say robot car home. It would drive home, not
Now-
have to park.
If they allow cars with no drivers, because that's a significantly different thing than a pilotless car. An autopilot car assumes there's people in the car.
Okay.
But that's a totally different level of confidence of people on the road to say, here's a car that can come get me, like downtown on 6th Street. I drank. It's weird. I talked about this on Twitter. Everybody associates driving with being able to drink too much. That's like the number one thing people want to do. People are looking for a way to get fucking obliterated. That's their number one goal in life.
Responsibly.
Why do you think I'm so excited about robot cars, Bernie?
But a driverless car, a car that activates and comes
Yeah.
to get you with nobody in it, that's kind of an insurance liability nightmare in that sense.
Unless it's a proven technology that works, like Minority Report style, where it's all just like a grid.
on
But
rails and
that's
stuff,
years
yeah.
away, I think.
Yeah.
Like they will require someone to be in the driver's seat
Capable
for a
of-
number of years, and then in the car for a number of years.
I think that's when we're making new cities. Like I don't think we could ever renovate. It's like the next new city
but
we make.
making a new city.
Yeah.
'Cause
Oh,
you're
it's like
getting-
the last city we made.
Yeah. No, because
After the apocalypse, someone wrote a fake robot attack car ad on Twitter. Victory 1140 said, "Robot car bash ad. The Honda robot car voted against raises for school teachers 3 times. Is this the car you want driving you?"
Would you feel comfortable though using?
Yes.
Okay, you're not going around in the city. You're
now
not going
imagine
around
this.
places that
Imagine
you
this.
know.
a Renault?
Yeah, that is not it in particular. I don't think that's not the one. I mean, it's a different colored car. They put up on the screen here a orange SUV-ish crossover hybrid thing. The one I've looked up, Patrick, is gray and yellow, and it actually shows the drone.
The Renault Kwid, KWID.
Look up a Renault concept car drone,
or Renault Kwid,
and that'll
KWID.
probably have it.
So you wouldn't be scared about falling asleep if you're going cross country and this robot car taking you to like deliverance?
No.
Like you wake up and you're
I
like,
trust the robots.
Where am I? What is going on?
Do you think about that when you're in a car with a driver?
Exactly.
No.
That's the thing.
Or do you think about it when you're on a plane?
Yeah.
Yes, actually, I do. It's
Think
terrifying.
they're just going to drive you?
Oh yeah, I think about like rogue pilots. I hate
Rogue pilot.
Yeah, I'm terrified of flying, and I'm like, oh man,
you know what?
I
You
hope
may
this
have
pilots had a good week. I hope things are going well.
Where
for
would a
him.
rogue pilot want to take you?
I don't know, man.
Disneyland.
What happened to that flight? What
Yeah,
happened
good
to that
one.
flight that disappeared?
Nobody knows. Is that a rhetorical question? Because nobody knows.
If we knew,
think-
don't you think we'd be off the coast of Perth somewhere?
They actually had a really big development in that case with it was MH 870?
370.
370? They had a development where they found a body that had an oxygen mask on.
Oh, wait. No, that's MH17. That's
that-
the one in the Ukraine.
Oh, that's one in the Ukraine.
Oh,
They
the
still
one
haven't
that-
found any trace of 370 yet.
I mean, here's the deal. How many
Okay.
planes fly around all the time?
I thought they knew where 370 was. I thought they knew it was at the bottom of a trench.
I don't think they know that yet.
Really?
Yeah.
So the Ukraine one had a mask on it. I thought that they said that one was for sure shot down by the Russians.
I don't think anything was for sure, but
okay.
it's sure. I mean, I think the belief is that it was shot down by insurgents or renegades that are being supplied with weapons from Russia, but they don't know that. So Putin, if you're listening.
That
I
being
didn't say
said, no one thinks it's a rogue pilot taking.
No, not in Russia, but no, they with the Malaysian plane, the not the black box, whatever tracks the transponder was manually turned off. No one knows why.
But they thought it could.
Maybe it was a rogue pilot.
Or,
So
well, do you consider the 9/11 pilots to be rogue pilots? Or-
No.
Okay. So they're actually, the case you're probably thinking of that was an actual rogue pilot was Egyptian Air.
Oh, I know what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, the Egyptian Air guy, where he said a prayer into the microphone and then just went fip and pushed forward on the stick. And his co-pilot was like, what are you doing? And pulled back on his stick. And they're fighting over controls. And I guess when they both pushed in the opposite direction, the actual plane was able to go into the flaps went in two different directions. Maybe there's a reason why you'd want that to happen in some kind of avionics situation. And he crashed the plane in the ocean. Like the dude, the one pilot just was like, yeah, I'm just gonna crash the plane in the ocean.
It's
Yeah.
it's also very similar to the Air France 447. It's the difference between the design philosophies in Airbus and Boeing. In Airbus, the pilot sticks can operate independently of each other. So they can be giving totally different inputs to the plane. And either the plane averages out the input or it confuses them and it'll operate the rudders differently. In Boeing, the sticks are linked together. So then if one person pushes down, both sticks go down. So you have to, you kind of tug.
Then it's like a string. It's a test of strength.
Right, that's the point.
Who's the strongest?
So they found the oxygen air mask around the neck of a Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 passenger, and the Dutch public prosecutor called this out because no other passengers' bodies who were found had oxygen masks, except for this one, and it was around their neck.
Oh,
Okay.
what?
Yeah, so
this will freak you out. You want to hear this? This is the Egypt Air Flight 990, excuse me, crashed October 31st, 1999. And the flight recorder data, the cockpit voice recorder data recorded the captain excusing himself to go to the lavatory, followed 30 seconds later by the first officer saying in Egyptian Arabic, I can't pronounce this, Tokalt Allah Allah, which means I rely on God. A minute later, the autopilot was disengaged, immediately followed by the first officer again saying, I rely on God. 3 seconds later, the throttles for both engines were set to idle, and both elevators were moved to 3 degrees nose down. The first officer repeated, I rely on God 7 more times before the captain suddenly appeared, asking repeatedly, what's happening, what's happening? The flight data recorder reflected that the elevators then moved into a split condition with the left elevator up and the right elevator down, a condition which is expected to result when the 2 control columns are subject to at least 50 pounds of opposing force. At this point, both engines were shut down by moving the start levers from run to cutoff. The captain asked, what is this? What is this? You shut off the engine, and the plane's crashed.
I hope the captain
That's
had
a rogue
time to
pilot.
pull up his pants.
What?
You think he's like running in there?
I like your greatest fear is followed by a dumbass joke. That is your worst fear realized. That's like one guy decided to kill.
There's nothing you could say to make me feel anyway. I've seen like every episode of Air Disasters.
Right, 203
like,
people.
I'm not immune to it, but like there's no way I could be more freaked out about flying.
Listen, that could happen.
I fly a lot.
That could happen on a bus. There could be a rogue bus driver.
When am I on a bus?
But when you're driving next to a bus on the fucking freeway.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
You don't really think about when you're driving a car how much of your life is separated by like a double yellow line that's right there. And you just trust people to like hug that line and they can do it like 100% of the time without a failure. And then you always see those like
instant though.
You always see those live leak things of like someone's just driving on the road and all of a sudden a car just jumps and it's like right there in front of them.
People in Austin are really bad about using their phone while driving. I feel like we
don't really have a law against it.
Austin does.
It just passed.
Like a year and a half ago.
No, it's been in there for a while.
You know what? There's a law against what specifically?
Texting, but now it's universal against all phones.
Using apps or anything on your phone other than placing a call. But now I think they just changed it to where now you can't be making a call either.
Okay.
But yeah, like I'll be at a red light behind someone else or two cars behind. It turns green and no one's going because they're all looking at their phone.
Yeah.
I'm like, great. Now I have to start honking.
So does that qualify as driving if you're at a red light?
Well, if you're at the red light and it's your job to go and you're not going, yeah, you're distracted. You need to be going.
Fair enough.
You know what would fix that, Chris?
Robot cars.
You sold me with the sing song. There's the Renault Quid.
There it is with the drone that checks for traffic, that checks for gridlock. So we'll put that in the linked up as well for those of you watching the audio version of this or listening to the audio version. It's basically a yellow and listen. It is a concept car. We'll never see that thing ever.
It doesn't matter because when robot cars come, I won't care about traffic because I'll be able to do stuff while I'm in the car. I'll be driving and be like, take me to work. And I'll be like working and doing like.
I feel like I'm listening to a fifth grader's book report. I would love to hear Chris say all the problems that robot cars are going to fix. Everything.
Public transportation. All right. So say you have a car. Yeah, well, it is because you have robot cars that just go and pick people up. So you finish your car, and you're like, all right, well, I'm going to work. Your car could go around and pick people up and take other people to work. You don't even need a car.
But you have to pay for the gas.
Like your car could be an Uber driver.
Yeah,
like you could make money.
Exactly. You could buy a car and then tell it to go make money for you.
Chris, you're blowing my mind. You're absolutely right.
Would you just tell the car, go make money?
Yeah, you could, and it would.
Pat it. Go make money.
And then also, or you wouldn't even need a car because there'd be other people who bought cars and then they would be doing that.
It would be weird though. The car would rely on a human to fill it up with gas. It would like pull into the gas station and be like,
well, maybe then.
Hey.
Maybe then there would be gas attendants go back. Oh, that'd be crazy. It would go.
Or it could be the gas and it could be a robot,
What's
Chris.
crazy?
Oh, you're not thinking about that.
What's crazy?
Well, let's say we go back
We
to
have
where.
a car that drives itself, but we got to have someone there.
Well, let's say we go back to the time where there's people who
car
fill
driving
gas.
all over the road autonomously, done. But this, impossible. That's just like a nozzle. No, get out of here.
Well, it'd be kind of cool if like we went back to the time where there's like all of a sudden a job to fill someone's gas.
How bitter would you be if a car pulled up with nobody in it and you had to fill it with gas? I would be so fucking bitter. I would be like, I'm not doing this job anymore.
You like scrape the nozzle all down the ceiling side of the car. There you go.
Or if it was like regular, please, fucking premium.
How you like that? How you like that Calcatron? Fucking take that.
I don't know why this is how cars talk. I don't know.
But it would get so abused. Those features would get totally abused though too, because the impact on fuel usage will go through the roof. Because people be like, I gotta go to the post office, but I can't find a parking space. Hey car, just go around the block for like 10 times and then just run in. Nobody would ever park anywhere.
No, but
why would you?
You wouldn't have to park because you would go somewhere and you'd be like, robot car,
Go around the block.
You'd be like, go do a couple rides for other people. I'll be back come back here in an hour. And in that hour, robot car would go and be like, would give taxis to people.
Give taxis to people.
Listen, Chris, you don't want that. You don't want people getting in your car that you paid for that you don't know with no other driver in there or anything. It's like, this is the story of how I bought a driverless car, and a day later, it was filled to the top with urine.
Or like
that is exactly how that story works.
Or powdered semen everywhere, and they're just like, oh,
Gross.
Make it be powered by urine. That would be on Bill homeless guy urine. That would be perfect.
Then obviously let everyone in your car.
There'd be some sort of security feature.
What would that?
No,
I don't know.
You're the one sending that to
There
the
would be a
money.
guy with a cap sitting there, scowling.
There'd be something. You have to like swipe something.
And how long would that last before, like what would be the requirement for people? Like, you have to have a driverless car by when? Like, they're introduced today. 20% of the population has them within 5 years. Then it's a point where it's like, you can't have a driverless car on the road.
30 years.
Because then you're just wasting everybody's time.
You think it's going to be 30 years till we have robot cars?
Do you have lanes?
No. Till you can like really like fairly require it.
Oh, till it's required to have a
Till
robot
it's required.
Because don't forget, I mean, like, one of the worst things in Austin, and I know it brings a lot of money to the city, and that's really fucking great, but that money can go up its own butt for all I care. The motorcycle rally that comes to Texas every year, to Austin, it's just a misery. It's just too much.
What money
It's
are
just
they
like the
paying?
streets farting.
I love that people are having a good time. They're on motorcycles, but it's just too much. It's too many. They got to stop it. It's just too much.
What are
but
those guys?
those people are never going to like say they can't drive on the roads. Those people are huge enthusiasts. There's
Maybe they
auto
get a robot
enthusiasts.
motorcycle.
Yeah, but they're going to want that. Why would they want that?
And who wants to go look them in the eyes and tell them they can't do something?
It's kind of like this. It's like horses.
I will.
You know, it's like
No, I
people
won't. I
still
said I
have
would.
horses. People still ride horses
There was a
around.
horse. I had to get over to pass a horse on Lamar
It
Boulevard.
still
the other day.
happens, but it's like it's not like people are off riding horses all down the
It
street.
doesn't matter. It fucks up the whole system.
So do you think
does.
that robot cars are going to like push horses?
No, because people like horses. But like what I'm saying, whenever cars were introduced, I'm sure people with horses were like, well, I don't know what my horse is. I just trust a horse. I don't trust some robot to be carrying me around.
I want to see Cowboy Chris now.
Chris is gonna invent the robot horse.
No, I'm just saying. It's like I'm sure we had the back, whatever in the 20s or whatever. When were cars invented?
Like the
You got it. You're close.
whatever,
Beginning of the
like
century.
I'm just saying
1910.
the exact same conversation happened. Except people were like, "Well, I just trust my horse. I trust something with blood and bones, not a machine." People didn't trust cars then, but now they do, and now it's like the next level.
time, guys.
Just blood and bones on the road. That's all.
I'm just saying, it's just.
What if you got a car that was like the trunk was filled with blood and bones?
You're like, I trust that car.
This car doesn't have. This car is full of blood and bones.
Sure enough.
You want this car driving?
The new Honda robot car, now with blood and bones.
You can drive into the square. Hold on. So Henry Ford actually has a great quote, which is that he said, "If I had listened to the public, I would have designed a faster horse."
Yeah, I think Jobs cited that a lot.
Yeah,
too.
he did a lot. Yeah. I'm just listening to public opinion when you're doing something that's revolutionary.
All right.
So when was the car invented? I would say I have a great barometer for that kind of stuff because my grandmother on my dad's side, my dad, because he was a priest, waited so long to have kids. I was like super crazy generation gap with my dad. And my grandmother was actually born in 1898.
Oh, wow.
So I sat down one time and did an interview with her with a video camera, and I asked her about all of her experiences. She remembers when she saw her first she's passed away now, but she remembered when she saw her first electric light. That was like, she remembers
crazy.
that. And like, she remembers seeing her first car, seeing her first airplane, everything. I heard a story that you would love. I never heard about this, that when the Wright brothers went to pitch the airplane to the U.S. military, Orville Wright and a colonel got in a plane together. And Orville Wright took off, flew him around, crashed the plane, crippled himself, killed the colonel, and the Army goes, "We'll order 10,000. Then
for the enemy.
It didn't sway them at all. They went ahead and placed an order anyway.
Wow, that's
yeah,
amazing.
I just love that.
Do you know that ride at Disney, the one where it's like a huge donut and it spins you around and you see like the different eras of time, the future?
You know what, Epcot?
No, it's at Disney.
Tomorrowland?
It's in Tomorrowland,
I think
but
it
it's
is
like
Epcot.
It's not, but well, basically you see what life was like in like the 1910s and the 1940s, and then we got to like the last era, and I was like, okay, cool, this is the present, and then the ride ended. I was like, wait, that was supposed to be the future? Like, it's crazy because like their perception, I think it was remodeled in the 80s, is now. Like, we're living in that future that we like envisioned so like recent. And
Well, we talked about the AT&T commercials that were in the 80s and early 90s that like pegged almost all the stuff we have now.
You'll be able to fax from
Fax on the beach.
Yeah. Or you'll be able to use a payphone, or wave goodbye from a payphone and stuff like that. But all visions of the future are based on the technology that you have.
Right.
That's why, like, when you look at like 50s stuff, it was always like, how are you going to read the newspaper in the year 2000? It's like, well, we didn't think that you just wouldn't get the newspaper and that all that entire business would be out of business. That's just like, it's based on what it is. The really interesting thing to me about future. Like futurists and like predicting what the future is going to hold is the turn of which in the 50s to 60s to 70s, when everything was like, we're going to build all this crazy stuff. It's going to be the Jetsons or like Lost in Space. People are going to be traveling to different planets or Star Trek or stuff like that. And then about the 80s, it was like when the world ends. It's like all of a sudden every vision of the future was like
dystopian.
The world here, the machines are going to kill us. We're going to run out of gas. Like everything became post-apocalyptic. There was never any like the closest you got to post-apocalyptic stuff was Planet of the Apes, but that really wasn't a post-apocalyptic story. It was more of an alien world thing with a twist to it. And probably more of a commentary on evolution than anything else. But yeah, so there was a weird thing when the world went from being everything's going to be incredibly awesome to everything's going to be horrible and how would you survive this kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's the Cold War.
Is that what you think it was?
Yeah.
You think it was nuclear?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it was the thought of the Cold War and the nuclear threat.
Like we reached a point of technology where we thought, I guess this can't continue. And that's kind of a scary concept, We just realized
technology would just overwhelm us. Even now, like people talk about like nanobots and like, the gray ooze.
What's the ooze?
I mean, what's the gray ooze?
If you build self-replicating nanobots, that they'll just self-replicate to the point where they consume the entire world.
They just consume, like if there was a self-replicating nanobot in this room, it would use materials from stuff around it to make another one. And those 2 would make another 2, and those 4 would make another 4, and those 8 would make another 8.
And then
and then eventually you have what's called gray goo, where the robots are a cloud that just consume all materials and just make themselves.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, and just
Good luck sleeping tonight.
It's like that episode of Futurama where Bender.
Oh yeah, all the benders. Yeah, I know exactly what you're
all the
talking
little
about.
benders.
Yeah,
he's like little nano benders. Yeah, but that and it's nanotechnology. But then you look at like this Ebola thing too. It's like if there was an outbreak of Ebola in West Africa, we would not be in the situation with this going global the way that we are now, where it's like you're literally seeing these little dots all over the map now of like Spain, and the scariest, the craziest one was. They suspected somebody of having Ebola in Braintree, Massachusetts. That is, anyone ever heard of Braintree before? It's like
Is there a con there that we're going to?
No, it's a super weird coincidence because there's a Stephen King novel, The Stand, which is about a super flu that wipes out 98% of the population. The first place it infects is Braintree, Texas. It's like the weirdest coincidence.
I think they figured out the person in Braintree didn't actually
That
have
is
Ebola,
correct.
though. Yeah.
But I didn't even know there was a Braintree, Massachusetts. And the fact that it came up was like, this is like really like out of a fucking movie, all this stuff.
Yeah, disease is it, man. Everybody's always like
disease
nuclear
was-
war, World War III, but it's going to be disease.
Disease was always it. It was always it. I mean, it's like
Disease was almost
historically,
it already
Yeah.
in the past. It has already come and gone.
We live in this weird bubble of antibiotics, which is about to come to an end too. Where it's
Great.
like, where like people would get a cut and die, or they got smallpox and died.
Yeah.
It happened to a lot of people. Bubonic plague wiped out what?
A quarter of Europe.
Yeah, a quarter of
I think it
Europe.
was more than that.
Really?
Yeah.
we're just not. We're used to it's like, oh, we just go to doctor, get antibiotics, and it's fine. But like those are gonna.
It's over.
Yeah,
It's
they're
over.
getting immune to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least the way that antibiotics exist now.
Yeah.
They're working on like genetic therapies and things like that, which hopefully you can't get a resistance to a genetic therapy. You could probably just make something that's like 10 times worse.
Eventually there's gonna be some disease that's like, well, we don't have a solution for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or where I think, we've talked about this before, I know, but I think technology, as you look at every technology, like stuff that's miraculous, 100 years later is in everybody's pocket, essentially. And you go out far enough, and the way that escalates is that eventually people will be able to just make whatever in their, somebody can make a virus in their garage at some point. Like the
creepy
basics of
crawlers.
that science are so simple that you can buy kids. What's that?
Creepy crawlers.
Like creepy crawlers. Exactly.
So yeah, the Black Death killed 30 to 60% of Europe.
Yeah.
30 to 60.
And you'll be sitting in your garage working on it, and your
And I'm
robot
like,
car
what-
will be like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "Shut up, robot car."
You're not going to tell anyone. You fucking bend its windshield wiper. No.
Mind your own robot business.
All right. Well, we're at about time. We should wrap this up.
All right.
So I want to remind everyone to watch screenplay and the patch this week.
I thought you were great on
and-
screenplay last week.
Thanks. I had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll do it again soon.
Social Disorder, where we go speed dating.
Oh,
That just came out this past Saturday. Really, really funny. Great video.
Just horrible.
And-
Cringeworthy.
No, it made it to the top of Reddit r cringe.
Well, why would you go to our cringe as like a
Someone-
subreddit? Why would you do that?
Now I
funny
know that
videos
it's
like
a
social
thing.
disorder.
It's
I didn't
going
know
to be
this-
on my
huh?
bookmark.
To see funny videos like social disorder.
Yeah.
But we'll have screenplay tomorrow and the patch on Wednesday.
And don't forget, not this coming weekend, but the weekend after, we are doing our annual live stream, 24-hour live stream to benefit Extra Life.
Thank you to everybody who watched the live stream last Friday. I thought
Yeah.
it went really well.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone.
Please check it out.
We'll see you soon.
Also, there's a new really badass Achievement Hunter poster in the store. You should check that out too.
Plug.
Bye.
And this new shirt
And
that I
you-
wear.
Get all the plugs in.
Are we live right now? Hey, it's Rooster Teeth Podcast.
It's a podcast. Coming to you live from Austin, Texas. Gus, Miles, Carrie, Gavin, Barbara, Jack, and Gus.
I'm Gus. I'm Gavin. I'm Barbara. I'm Burnie.
Gus,
Gavin.
Michael.
Gus,
Gavin. Barbara. And Burnie and
Gus,
And Gavin.
and Gus.
Especially lots of Gus.
Gus, Gavin, Barbara, Bernie, and Gus. With Gus,
Gavin.
Miles.